Alter, ich
One.
habe so viele Tabs offen, Alter, ist nicht mehr normal. Das ist echt
Hä?
nicht
Oh
mehr
wow,
normal.
you
Ich
got
habe
in
hier
before
irgendwie
me.
15 Tabs offen. Ich muss mal auf meinen Stream gehen und mal kurz den Text bearbeiten. Mir fehlen immer noch 2 Abos für
Hey,
300.
CMC Nono, you are doing great. Please don't
This is
fail.
interesting. Yeah, to say the least. Do you want me to restart my Minecraft? Because I can't even connect anymore. Oh,
Wow,
oh
Bruder,
right,
das tut
okay.
so weh
I am
tun,
here now.
Junge.
If you press escape and try and reconnect again, I guess. Yeah, I just restarted, so it's starting back up. Oh, okay, my Minecraft crashed again. Hang on. Now it's my fault that the masterclass is going badly.
Buddy
Well,
joined
welcome to
your
Buildcon
channel.
2019, guys. Yeah. A massive step up from
Hallo.
last year. I'm taking it.
Moin.
Steht gerade auch die Masterclass an.
Ja, Mann.
Yeah,
Ja,
it
ich stream
changes
das
year
jetzt,
to year.
damit ich das auch auf
Usually,
meinem
I
Kanal dann
don't
habe.
even
Dann
know why
kann ich
not.
das auch ein paar Leute ansehen.
Yeah.
Aus meiner
Might just stop
Perspektive.
and start the stream so
Und
that
auch damit ich es mir merken
my
kann.
Minecraft's supposed to
Ein paar
crash.
Sachen.
Ah, da dürfen wir halt nicht reden, ne?
Alright, we'll restart. I'll stop
Ja,
and start the
stoppen
stream
wir
so
mal
that it's
das
like a
ein
new
wenig.
video and that.
Ja.
Just delete the VOD, honestly.
Lauf oder
We'll do. Just let me know when you're back in, and then we'll. Yeah, I'm already back in.
User was moved out of your
Okay.
channel.
Larix?
Where are you?
Ja.
Oh, there you are.
Warum sollte man das in deiner
Stop a
Perspektive
minute.
sehen?
Stop. Cool. There we go.
Nein.
All good. Right.
Ich stream's einfach so,
We'll
damit
pretend that never
das,
happened.
damit sich's andere Leute ansehen können und auch damit
Oh,
ich's
and
mir
we're
mal
live.
ansehen kann.
Oh, we're back.
Es wird doch gestreamt gerade.
Ja, aber wird's oben
Well,
bleiben?
if you're joining back,
Lass mich fragen.
nothing happened. We didn't crash 2 times, so
Also wird's
you
hochgeladen
know,
dann auf Twitch?
nothing bad happened here. Just gonna resume the environment masterclass by Casey. My name is Casey.
Ja, ist
and
ja
I'm
egal,
a-
ich hab den
I'm
Stream
a
schon
builder,
gestartet.
not a good one, but I'm here to teach you. Surprisingly.
Was ist los?
Sorry. I'm getting sick, so if I cough, deal with it. So for now, I want to just go over what I'm doing real quickly. So this is just a snippet of my of one of my marketplace builds that I put out last June, I believe. And I've taken out most of what I've done for the environment, so pretty much all the grass is gone, other than like some of the smaller stuff down here, like trees. I'm not going to be going over trees at all. I might just touch on it like very briefly. Most part, or for the most part, I don't let trees touch structures. So you can see right here, they're not breaking blocks,
Kommt
but
man
they're
eigentlich
like
dorthin?
kind of
Hä, was ist der
Das
Dude
war-
they're
überhaupt?
on it, but
Krass.
they're not like deleting blocks.
Was ist
So
der Dude
that's
überhaupt?
literally the only thing I'm going to say about trees, because
Wir können,
there's another
wenn wir ihn
masterclass that's going to
finden,
go
dann kann
on
man ihn
about trees,
anklicken.
probably more than I can. So
Ja, wenn. Ah,
But
warte,
for now,
wait. Oh, bro, du kannst
I
Stream
want
klicken, kannst du
to
machen.
I want to change the colors up a bit because this is pretty boring.
Ich hab ihn.
Um,
Ich hab ihn.
so I have red roofs, and I
Komm,
want
gönn
to
doch.
keep maybe.
Ah, Junge, der fliegt so
Die
schnell.
Videos werden
Ich
auf
sehe
Twitch gesaved und danach von
Let's
dort
actually
genommen und auf YouTube
play around
hochgeladen.
with some colors.
Ehre.
Okay.
I have a.
Laut Backcasing, also
I have just a simple
Event
okay, not
Director.
simple, but
Okay.
a pretty standard biome coloring that I'm using
Ich
here.
muss ihn jetzt mal finden, Alter.
It's just a simplex with some linear 2D data in it, and yeah, I'm not going to be going over this stuff because also I believe the terraforming masterclass might go over this. So for now, we'll just leave it. But
Das du
yeah, what this does is it'll sort of
Very,
mix.
very simple.
It'll
Hab ich
mix
ihm
these
gezeigt.
Was?
jungle biomes in. Let me just put this in the
Very
chat, actually.
simple Simplex, habe ich vor 2 Tagen gezeigt.
So it'll mix a jungle, a mesa, and a desert biome. Right,
Oh, ich
I
hab ihn
believe
gefunden.
it's on
Anklicken.
these
Schau.
sections right here.
Man,
If we just press F3, I can check. Yeah, it's changing these textures right
wie muss
here,
ich mich tippen?
and the mesa and
kannst
the
dich zu mir
desert.
tippen.
Just the mesa and the desert
Ich bin
is that darker
bei ihm.
texture that's being put in all around the lighter textures. So for the most part, I want the roofs to stand out more than just the trees. So I think I like this, but I'm gonna do the command just one more time so that I can
Nochmal, sorry.
get a different color. It'll sort of mess the colors around a bit. So just do it
Oh,
again
wait.
a few times.
Lol.
It's a little slow, but I think it changed it. Yeah, it did. Okay, so
Alex, kannst du nochmal an?
so I want these trees not to take over the build, so I'm gonna keep them pretty dark because I want people to also look at the bright red roofs. And so
Er bewegt sich immer, bis ich im Game Mode 3
what I'm
bin, hat
doing
er sich
here with
irgendwie
my
um Meter
coloring is I'm making sure that people don't just look at trees and just look at this bland cool color. So
Na, da ist
I
er.
think
Jetzt ist er wieder weg.
just
Wo ist er?
make sure all the colors are good. Yeah.
Da ist er, komm. Bleib doch stehen.
I think I
Warum
want
wollt
to
ihr
go
überhaupt fangen?
over the
Ja,
path
weil
Ja,
man
ins
dann-
Game Mode 3 zu gehen.
because
Aber immer wenn ich
that's
in
kind
den
of the
näheren
next
rankomme,
step.
dann
These aren't
stimmt
supposed to
er.
be colored, but these
Ja,
are actually
egal.
supposed to be.
Oh Gott, ich sehe ihn, ich bin
So
hinter
I
ihm.
actually
Ich
go
bin,
over.
Ich bin schon lange
Hinter
Um,
oh Gott, nein.
Mann!
But for the most part, what I
Warum
want to
ist
do
er
with my
so schnell?
paths
Da unten
is
ist
I
er.
want
Nein!
to
Er ist weg!
open up all the open sections of the
Ich
build
bin ihm
and
aus
sort
den
of
Fersen.
close off
Äh,
the non-playable sections of the build. So stuff like right here, there's no path up to
But for
here.
the most-
There's no path out here. There's no path like up here to these walls or anything. And I want to keep that because I don't want people to just walk off the path and get lost in the messy terrain
warum
behind
ist er
here.
so schnell?
And so for the most
Nee,
part, what I've done is
wenn du
I've
nah an den rankommst, dann
made the
werden die
main
Spieler
path
aus.
break off to the main little town center right here. Of course, the town center is cut off because this build isn't complete. I'm not going to be doing the
Oh
whole thing.
yeah, ich bin in ihm drin.
Because that would just take way too long. But yeah. So I have my paths all connecting to the main path, but
There's no
not
one?
paths going randomly to some weird section of the build that
Relax.
nobody is going to be looking at.
Komm mal.
And so what I
Das
want
ist die
to
ganze Zeit Spam.
do here is I
Hello.
want to
Ich hab's gerade nicht gesehen.
make sure that all of my paths
You
are
have no permission to
relatively
use
smooth.
teleport in Quick Drive mode.
So stuff like right here, this is too long for my liking,
Bist du
so
der
I'll
Typ auch
just,
gut?
I'll just add it back. And generally,
Frage
I
so
like
in
to
die Runde.
bring the path right up to a grass block if it's one above it.
Das mache ich auch immer.
But yeah, okay.
Gut.
I'm not sure how I like it, but we'll keep going and see if I like it more.
Ja, ich bin in ihm drin.
Yeah, I like it a little bit more.
Wie schafft ihr
Let's
das?
keep going a little bit. So just delete these.
Jetzt steht er doch hier eigentlich am Boden relativ oft.
Ja, eben, aber
yeah,
irgendwie-
that's a little better. So
Ich seh ihn nicht.
my reasoning behind that is because I don't like just these random
Die
transitions
Masterclass geht
between
jetzt 2
path
Stunden,
and
oder?
grass. So I
Eine
like
Stunde.
them to
Eine
be a little
Stunde,
more
warum geht die andere
isolated.
dann
Ja,
erst um
endlich.
21 Uhr los?
Godlike.
I'll keep this right here because the path goes up, but for the most part, I want it to be right up against that height difference. And I also don't like when the transition goes from a 2
Oh nee,
block
Alter,
to
ich
a
spiele ja schon
1
wieder
back to a
QSG,
2. I
stumm.
like it to just be 2 and 2 and 2 and 1, and then I'll just change that to a 3. But
Mein
now
Gott,
we
Alter,
have
Gold,
this
Apfel,
weird
Steinschwert
shape.
und
Oh,
Eisen.
Nice.
Paul, sei mal leise. bitte,
So
danke.
Ich will den jetzt einfach machen.
yeah, this one's smooth
Damit man
too.
das nicht hört, ist
Relatively smooth, I guess. Yeah, we'll keep it. Kind of looks like a tube, but so yeah, I like to make sure that my paths don't go to some random spot in the build,
Ja.
but they go to everywhere that I want a player to access, but also where I want the player to walk. And we can see
Und
there's
findet ihr
also a
den
path right here, which isn't supposed to be
Vortrag
colored. That's my mistake. But
gut bis jetzt?
yeah, so for now, just for the sake of this build, this
Oh, Digga,
path
erstmal
did
gewählt.
connect all the way to that one beforehand, but now that I've cut the build off, it's not going to. So I'm just gonna take a brush real quickly and go over this section just so I can put a little path right here. Actually, that's probably too big of a brush. My thought process with this is sort of that I need to make it I need to make main paths bigger and more thick than a small path like this one that's pretty thin. And so I want to make a path from here to here, but I don't want it to look like I'm forcing it. So I'm just going to do a brush cylinder, some pink wool with a radius of 1. I'll put that in chat too. So I'm going to mask my grass block so I'm not changing anything. And so I'm just going to go over this a bit. I'm going to walk the path because if I'm flying, I might accidentally touch the wrong block. So it gets a little tricky. Actually, that's probably way too straight, but we'll fix that. It gets a little tricky when I get to sections like this because I don't want my path to just go like that. That would kind of look weird, and the leaves would get in the way of the player's path. So I'm just going to undo most of that. Yeah. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we're good. So I'm going to keep going up this grass block. And instead of going up to this, because I've got a rocker here, I'm actually going to take the path on a little journey down this section instead. I'm not using the brush right here just because it's not really needed. And I don't want anything to change the wrong block. And so I'm going to keep taking the path along. And right when I get to this corner, I'm actually going to take it around. And I'm going to join it back up with this little broken up dirt path. So I'm going to make that a little bit more thick there. I'm going to smooth it out right there because there's some weird transitions. For the most part, I like it as is, but I'm definitely going to be making some changes. I think that could probably... I'll probably put that one back. Actually, that looks a little better. Maybe just do that as well. Yeah, that's better. For the sake of my OCD, I need to fix this. Okay. Yeah, we're good. And like I was talking about earlier, these little weird transitions, I want to fix those because I don't want them to look awkward. I'm actually going to extend this out a bit and bring that maybe in.
User joined your channel.
Yeah.
Das würde ich gleich muten.
So let me just
Was?
go into
Thank
speed
you.
1. I feel like
Vorher, ich hab
I'm
keinen
going
Bock, dich
way
im
too
Stream zu
fast
halten.
here, but yeah. So just for now, I'm smoothing the path out a bit so it's a little more rounded rather than. Yeah, I normally build in like speed 5, but for the sake of everyone else's sanity, I'm gonna go slower with this. But yeah, and also there's a weird transition right here. I want to keep it, but at the same time, I don't think it'll fit very well, so I'm just gonna cut it off right there. And like I was saying earlier, I don't think that this smooth, just one line is gonna cut it. So I'm just gonna bring the path up so that it sort of looks like a pencil. But yeah, okay. I like that. So I don't want to make this main path way too thick because I think that I don't think that this is a main path. I don't want it to be a main path at all. So I'm just gonna bring the thickness down
User
in
left
some
your channel.
sections, but not all sections. Yeah, that's okay. So something I also like to do is whenever there's a step up, I like to just put like a darker, just kind of like stepping stone block, and I'll
Ja,
just
da
do
muss
it on
man
some
wieder Amigo ein
sections,
bisschen,
but not all of them.
bisschen
So stuff like
entlasten,
right
damit er
here,
nicht hier die
right
ganzen
here.
Blöcke hochspringen muss.
And then the weird kind of awkward ways to put steps on that one too. It'll look fine. I also like to make sure that I put little buttons on the ground. In 1.13 you can actually rotate the buttons, but you can't rotate them now, so this game's literally unplayable. But I like to make sure that I put little buttons around because they look like either lighter colored stones or pine cones, and I've got a lot of pine trees up here, so
Angeln
So
manche
I'm
Bilder
gonna
mit
dot
Wegen
these
oder
around, but not
Ich denke,
User was moved out of your
spam
channel.
them.
Ich glaube, es gehört halt einfach dazu, so ist einfach so, halt der will halt alles drin haben, so.
So yeah,
ich
there's
so.
I'm actually
Aber keine Ahnung.
yeah
Das
yeah
ist
I'll put
halt
that on there
wirklich
because there's a
Standard.
tree above it.
Ein Weg.
Ey, aber hey,
Yeah, I might as well
immerhin.
stop the masterclass now that I can't
Yeah.
rotate my buttons. It's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, but it won't kill me. So I placed maybe
Also ich sag nicht,
one button
Weg
every
richtig
like 5 or
hässlich.
6 blocks.
Ich
And
weiß,
on these
kenn
longer
ich Max
sections, I
Coloring nicht
place
so,
them
aber...
like every 6, 7 blocks.
Also ich weiß nicht,
But
das-
I'm
ja.
actually
Das
noticing
Pinke
that
oder
I went
das-
a little too crazy with the buttons
Ja, das
here,
Pinke.
so I'm gonna remove
Mann, ich meine
these
nicht von
two
dem
buttons right
unfertigen
here.
Weg.
Just because,
Yo,
like I
mein
said, I
Hund
don't
hört
want to
man.
spam them because it does look a little weird.
Obwohl ich finde das mit den Teppichen irgendwie ganz cool.
Ja, das mit
Ja,
den
das
Teppichen
stimmt.
sieht nice aus.
Okay, so I like how the pathway flows, and if we just look up, we can sort of
Ziemlich smooth.
tell where things are wanting to flow. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So I didn't put the pathway, like, I didn't put it down, I didn't bring it down. It's sort of like this, just because I felt like this area right here is too level. So it might make it look a little forced. And so I brought it up around through the trees just so it kind of feels a little bit more fun to walk through. And it sort of makes me feel like I'm walking through a forested park. And so let me just make sure that I've not spammed my buttons. I see there's 2 right there, but I'm going to keep that because that's next to this this bundle of trees. So I want to work on this pathway
Chris, das sind deine
next.
Bäume, oder?
This pathway is sort of like
Sind die von ihm?
off the grid type path. I bring it through this sort
Mit
of
Tannen irgendwie nice
mushy
finde.
Mhm.
forested area right next to this
Passt da nichts zusammen. aber ist
right next to
okay.
this river. And so I want to keep this pretty dark and
Aber
pretty
die passen nicht zusammen, die
subtle.
Strukturen zu dem
Or not
Baum.
subtle. I want to
die,
make it stand out just because
Die
it's going to be
Grasbäume
much
mit den
darker than the rest of the
Leafbäumen,
path.
die passen nicht zusammen, aber
And so I'm not gonna
Ja.
lay my pathway out like this. I
ich
don't
glaube,
want
da
it
ist es
to
nicht
be
so im
super
Rahmen, wo
smooth. I want it to be
Preference ist.
pretty bumpy. So I'm only gonna put sections like that right there. And right here, I'm gonna
Irgendwie
keep that
zwischen
'cause I don't
Gras
want
auf
I
Blättern
don't
gar
want a
nicht
slab
mehr
to come
irgendwie
out like this because you
Ich
might
auch
just
nicht,
go
aber ich hatte
back
auch mal
and
die
oh,
Phase, wo ich das geil fand.
Was will
Oh,
denn
I
Bacon
can't
jetzt im
walk up.
Stream, Alter? Was
Oh no,
baust du? Ich bau
unplayable.
gar nichts, du Kick.
But yeah, and so right here, I thought about putting a bridge. Actually, let me just put a bridge here. So
raus, du Bank was gar nicht up to
let's
date.
grab these blocks
Mhm.
back. And so if I want to put a bridge here, I would probably do
Der Titel
something
sagt
like this.
Buildcon, Alter. Guter Erfolg, was ich baue.
But I don't like the
Ja,
look of
ist
it
willkommen.
because I don't want the pathway to be just one continuous thing. Obviously, that's how pathways work, but for the sake of this build, I want to keep this sort of broken up, not traveled path. So it's traveled, but it's not, super traveled.
Einfach perfekte Erklärung.
So
Jetzt weiß ich genau, was du meinst.
yeah, we need buttons. Buttons are always the best thing. They always work pretty well.
Always the best thing,
maybe
Alter.
not
Und da
right
bist du
here,
bei
but
Pixelbeast abgelehnt, weil du zu
I
viel,
don't know if I'll put this one a bit closer to
zu
the
viel in den
trees.
Wegen hast.
Merkt halt Real Talk.
And since there's no trees on this section, I'm not going to put any buttons right here, but I will put a button right here
Maß aller
because there's
Dinge
a
zu
quick
nutzen
picture
ist
close
natürlich
up.
auch
So.
eine gewagte Aussage.
I'm gonna,
Yeah,
for the most part,
obviously.
I build practically, but I want to also keep in mind that I'm not building for marketplace, so I'm not building I'm not
Die
building
Häuser sind
crazy
immer,
like
aber maximal.
crazy player experience like.
Ja,
But,
Maximal anders.
Yeah,
anders.
and
Das
you
wurde
can't
nur
even do
negativ
this
im
sort of
Sinne
stuff in
einmal eingestellt.
marketplace, but I don't want to keep it super weird and
Häuser
super
sind so-
detailed. I just want to keep it kind of
Wie kann man
practical.
sagen? 2017.
Yeah, buttons
Pixelbeast
definitely make or
Style
break
oder
the
so.
build. If I didn't have any of these buttons here, I wouldn't even
Ja, aber
be
das
doing this
stimmt.
masterclass.
Gut umgesetzt, also.
And
Larry,
so,
morgen da bist du
also,
zu sehen, was
since
ich
I
mit
want to
deinen
keep this
Häusern
pathway
gerade mit
pretty
deinem
dark
Haus gemacht habe.
and
Ich bin gespannt. Ich hoffe nicht
Uh,
Schlimmes.
pretty dark and mushy,
Oh,
like some
Handwerk.
mud,
Knuddel, jetzt kommt es mit
I'm
den
gonna
Teppichen,
put
hörst dir an,
these
Junge.
carpets here beforehand
Das ist
because I
geil.
think that I'm gonna need them.
Junge, er macht's jetzt aber bitte nicht so vereinzelt hin, oder?
Yeah, I like to put them on the
Yeah.
right next to the slabs because it's sort of like another transition up. Because if I step on a carpet, I go up a bit and then I go back down. So it's sort of like a smoother transition. It feels better, but it's not like super practical, and you don't really have to do it. But for the most part, I like to do it just because nobody's gonna really be seeing this
Der
path
eine
very
schreibt,
much,
Mojang will remove
and they're
one
definitely not gonna be
more.
looking at carpets.
What will you do ever do? Ehre.
And like I said, right here, there's nothing really around
Was
this
hat er
for
Woher
there
hat
to
er
be
das?
mud,
Das
Er hat
ist
but I'm
jetzt
going
neu.
to assume that this pathway has been
entfernen.
walked
Ah ja,
a couple
Was soll man da
times,
tun?
you know, so there's some muddy bits
dann
around
haust du
here,
Ads auf den Boden.
and you know, maybe some right there, maybe a couple, yeah, maybe right there. But yeah, so
So was that still one
maybe I want a
8
button.
intense sweating.
Yeah, I want a button.
Schau, wie viele Pilze auf dem Weg
I
ausschauen.
think I like this, but I feel like this area is too bare, so I'm actually gonna take some bushes, and I'm gonna
An bush.
dock these. I'm not gonna go super crazy on
Ich
them.
werde meine Büsche morgen
but
etwas schneller setzen.
I'll put one right there too. Actually,
Ja, lass dich
Ja.
irgendwie ziemlich Zeit, obwohl er nicht mehr so viel Zeit
ooh,
hat.
excuse me.
Ja, er hat noch
Warte, wie viel Zeit hat er?
34 Minuten.
Keep in mind
Ja,
that
aber
if
ich
you
weiß
do
nicht, ob das
something
bei den-
like this with fences, they're
bei
gonna
seiner
connect to
Masterclass
your
nur beim Weg
blocks.
bleibt.
So if you're not annoyed by it,
Das
Die
wär
Hälfte ist schon
then
bald
do
um.
it. But if you're annoyed by it, don't do it.
How to build
I'm annoyed by it,
paths.
but I'm gonna keep it
Yeah.
there just for the sake of the masterclass. Yeah. So I think this is actually too.
Was hat er gesagt?
No, I like it.
Masterclass.
No, yeah.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah, I'm okay with that actually. I thought it was gonna be too thin right there, but since we have a
Wie kann man
stepping
so
stone
lange
up, I
über
don't really need
Wege
that right there.
reden? Ich meine, es ist.
So
Soll
next,
ich mal
I
anfangen,
want
über
to.
Eichenbäume zu reden?
Ja,
Yeah, I want
Bäume sind
to.
was anderes.
Ich kann auch über
I'm just
eine
gonna skip it.
Baumart
I'm gonna go
reden.
back to my pathways. I'm gonna take my brush, go back into my
Bitte
speed
benutze
5,
ein Pattern.
and I'm gonna zoom around the place.
Bitte benutze ein Pattern.
I'm gonna color my pathways
Yeah,
now
super
because I think that I'm ready to bring it to the next level.
To the next level.
Yeah, I'm a zoomer.
Gibt es
I'm a
irgendeine
zoomer,
Möglichkeit, dass
guys.
man ein bisschen an deine Commands rankommt?
Okay, Boomer.
Hat
An
das-
meine?
Okay, Zoomer.
But yeah, so I'm gonna
Scheiße.
look this way because there's not much path over here, and I want to get an actual look for where my pathways are. So I'm gonna try a few different commands here. I'm gonna Gmask the pink wool because I can, and because I like to make things more complicated.
Alter.
And
Digga!
we're gonna we'll try some coarse dirt
Meine Katze hat mich
and
gekratzt.
some brown
Ja, Mann.
wool.
Das war wahrscheinlich
Because
das
she
Spannendste.
can.
Okay. So
Junge, holy shit.
I
Was eine Schönheit.
don't like how
Wie viel
much
kenn ich
coarse dirt
Warte mal, war
there
das ein normaler
is,
Simplex?
so I'm gonna
Nee.
make the coarse
Nicht
dirt
nur,
a
glaube ich.
little
Er hat
more
es mit
prominent.
einem Con-Dings gemacht, oder?
Oh.
Mit einem.
Convex.
Nee.
das ist
maybe it's
Veroni.
the
Con,
opposite.
Das ist Veroni.
Convert oder sowas?
Veroni.
We'll go back.
Ja, genau.
Yeah, there we go.
Macaroni.
Yeah, that's
Lustig.
I may have just done the opposite
lol, was
again
sind das für...
actually.
Wie kommt... Lol, die Streifen sehen irgendwie
Ja,
nice aus. Die könnte man
er muss
richtig...
den Befehl mal
do-
reinschreiben.
We'll do this.
Die kommen von Veroni.
Yeah, we'll just keep it. So the command I just did was
Ja, genau.
okay, yeah.
Wir
Yeah,
sind
there
auch
it is.
Paranoid.
How did you get that before me? I'm impressed. So yeah, I like to use the Voronoi mask, which is the hashtag vor, and it's if I just do a quick one right here. Oh, I turned my Gmask off. So you'll see that it kind of makes this weird striation pattern, like a crack. And if I change the number after,
Kriegt mein
Or-
Gift.
it'll make those cracks thicker and more prominent, or it'll make them thinner and a little bit more
Das ist
like
oder
a beat up
thin.
cracked path. So I think, I was using 4. Right now that's a 3. But since I have a lot of paths, I'm going to keep it at 4. but I am gonna go through and
Hä, macht man
break
damit auch
these up
diese
just a tad.
komischen Schluchten bei
So,
solchen Steinen zum Beispiel?
Just going through here and
Was?
yeah,
Nee, da fragt mal.
sort of like a
Du hast das ja auch bei
sort of like
dir
a clock,
bei
but
einer deiner
not like a clock
plots
because this
gehabt
is Minecraft.
für deine Masterclass.
So I'm not gonna do this the whole way around because that would take
That's-
probably the entire hour.
Meiner
But
Masterclass
just
kein einziger
actually, I'm
Stein
gonna keep
gesetzt.
this.
Was sind das denn für Plotstiere? Und
Let me just go back to
Please.
speed one because that's probably
Spaß
making some
dran.
people very angry.
Ja.
But yeah, so
Ja,
Ich dachte, du
so-
zeigst
I'm
die alle und
okay
erklärst
with
dann
the
noch was.
coloring,
Ja, genau,
and
alle.
I'm actually even more okay
Yeah.
with it because there's more
Das ist
brown here,
mal
which I
bei
wanted
dieser
this to
Map
be
für
pretty.
Unge auch so,
pretty muddy.
so Steine mit so
Ja,
Cracks.
die habe ich
But
aber
I'm
ganz anders
actually
gemacht.
gonna go through and replace
Sagen
most of
die, oder ist das
the
geheim?
brown wool
Nee,
right
die habe ich
here
für einen,
with Podzol because I
ich
think
habe
that that's a
einen
little
Pulli
more
gemacht
of
und
a
habe
muddy brown
an den
texture, and I
Pulli
want
nach
this
unten
pathway to be.
gestackt und den Rest dazwischen replaced.
Ja, der redet immer noch über die scheiß Wege, Alter.
Placing
Ja, ich spiele
these
währenddessen ein Handyspiel, aber hör so nebenbei zu.
just like
Meine
that.
arg viel mehr kannst du bei der Masterclass sowieso glatt machen.
Der Typ mit dem blauen Profilbild ist wieder du, Alter. Ogolikus.
Yeah, I
Ja,
like
das
that.
ist-
That's okay. I'm definitely gonna keep more Podzol around the water just because the water does mix with dirt,
Paranoid.
Oh,
and that's how you make mud. There's
Oh,
your
no.
school lesson of the day. You don't have to go to school anymore. You can just attend my masterclass.
Tudum.
Let's see how that
Ihr
looks.
Ehrenmann.
I like it, but I think I actually don't like the texture right here.
Bruh.
I like it, but I don't like it.
It's kind of hard to find
Yeah,
the
you know.
deviation between different textures just because when we're all working with the same
Heißt
textures,
das
especially since the biome is
Archeon,
colored like
oder?
that,
Ja.
I don't
Da
want to
freue ich mich dann.
use this brown wool because I think it takes away from
Ich
it.
mich auch.
So I'm gonna replace those with coarse dirt. Actually, I wonder if there's a different block that I could use. I'll try dark oak.
Da wird man dann auch wahrscheinlich mehr sehen.
What? Dass
Oh,
man
that's
jetzt
not
Dark
that bad.
Oak
We'll
reinpackt,
try
Alter.
spruce. I feel like that's
Ja,
probably a little
Canyon
too
ist
dark.
natürlich eines der Highlights.
Oh, that's actually much better.
Aber
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. I think that I like the coarse dirt texture. It's definitely my favorite texture in the entire game, but I think that I'm actually gonna go with the spruce just because the coarse dirt kind of just mingles with this path way too well. So I want to break that up a lot. And for the most part, I don't want this to mingle. Although I do want it to mingle right here. A little bit of mingling going on over here. So I'm taking
Oh,
each of the
carrots
paths and
off
I'm
of
just
this.
mixing them in with each other right here. We haven't done any of this out here. So we'll just go through and change these up. Yeah. Actually, I think since I don't actually have any trees right here, I'm going to replace this back with coarse dirt. Because I still want the mud. I just don't want the super dark path through this swampy forested section. So we're gonna come through and replace these planks back to coarse dirt. I'll keep a few, especially right here since this path is the main path and I want it to be a little more muddy. So yeah, I'm
Where's the
okay with that.
Masterclass take.
Yeah, I'm
Right
definitely
here.
okay with that.
Right hier. Beste Beschreibung an dieser Stelle mal wieder.
I might
Big fan.
did somebody say I sound dead? Ouch. That's a big ol' oof, man. I'm getting sick. What can I say?
Richtig los.
I understand this is
Wird
probably
krank,
pretty
weil
boring
die
for some
Zeit
people.
davon
Actually,
rennt.
if you'll throw questions in chat, I can sort of answer questions while I segment onto the next section that I'm doing. So if you want, slam me with questions while I get my brushes set up for all of this.
boring to
Oh.
the haters. Habt ihr das gehört?
Little problem here, Dort. I don't have access to grass blocks. These grass.
Sehr uff. Junge, aber
I
ganz ehrlich, man
can't
muss auch
world edit
sagen,
them in.
also, ja gut.
Is there a quick fix for this, or am I just gonna?
There's a
just
quick
bypass
fix in like 20 seconds.
Okay, no
Und
worries.
wieder 10
I'll just
Sekunden weg.
continue answering some ideas.
Die Zeit fliegt
Idea
weg.
with the flower pots. I didn't actually. This is not my idea. I stole it. But yeah, they're supposed to be cattails.
Junge, einfach
If you know what cattails
geklaut,
are,
bastard.
they're like those weird things with the brown buds on the end. I definitely do not take credit for this. I stole it. I may have yoinked it.
Jetzt muss ich ja auch noch die Discord,
I'm actually gonna-
die
It's good that you said
die
this, 'cause
IP
now
vom
I think
Server
that I
einschicken,
put too
Alter,
many
ich
in.
glaube, ich spinne.
Yeah, no, in Marketplace you can't do these custom flowers.
Try that.
They would deny you. Is it working?
Ja, ich kann die IP gerade nicht schicken, weil ich kann nicht Discord.
Yeah, it's working. Thank you. So
Wie geht die IP vom Buildcon?
let's mask
Benko.
Play
mask
MC
Benko
Buildcon.
sieht
above the
mir gerade
grass,
zu, warte.
and we'll G-mask the air. We just put these all in chat. So
Nutzer
first,
vorübergehend blockieren. Auf
so I'm
Wiedersehen.
G-masking air, and with my brush, I'm masking above grass, and with the actual brush, I'm using. Excuse me. I'm using
Könnte Marketplace
Sphere,
Masterclass machen. Alter.
that grass. I think actually I'm using
Es
the
gibt
wrong one,
eine
but yeah, whatever.
Gameplay.
So that's
ja, die
the sequence I'm
von,
using just for this brush.
Knox Crew.
And you see I've already actually
Lol,
done it
Alter,
right here, just
true.
in certain
Natürlich.
sections, just in groups.
Wird auch, also ich hoffe mal, dass sie
Yeah,
gut
yeah.
wird. Ich bin
Throw
mir
the
nicht
questions
sicher,
at me. I don't
ob
care.
ich viel Neues lernen
I'm okay
werde.
with answering questions. So I'm just gonna dot these around just
Buddy
for
was
now,
moved out
where
of
I
your
see
channel.
too much bare grass, and especially around these cattails. Yeah,
Das sollte mal ein paar
totally,
mehr Befehle zeigen, die nützlich
totally
sein
can
können.
see the grass there. That's
Ja,
a
es sind
section
halt-
sind es
that
halt drei.
aber
the
die kennt man
biomes I don't think actually changed. No, it changed it. But yeah, if I dot
Ich
these
sag
in
die
these lighter
Biome-Befehle,
sections, it's a
wobei
little harder to see.
vielleicht auch nicht.
But
Ich habe schon alle
I'm gonna
ausgeführt und
keep
gesaved.
it because I think that it still takes over, or I think it
Vielleicht
still
trotzdem.
adds to the atmosphere around here. So I want to keep this pretty bare, but I definitely want to put these a little bit harder here, just because. Oh, hang on.
Ja, diese Häuser.
Aber da
Mann.
ist ja gar keine Luft
We should actually
dazwischen.
put a
Warum macht
little
er da
pathway.
nicht Luft
This guy
dazwischen?
deserves a path, right?
Sieht
Ja,
der immer so
kannst du ja
Sphären?
rein theoretisch machen. Du kannst ja BSW, du kannst ja deine Prozentanzahl sozusagen reinschreiben. Kannst du ja machen, wenn du
Yeah.
willst.
Yeah, we'll
Ja,
give him
klar.
a path.
Ich meine, warum
Ja,
er
happy
sich immer,
little bad.
keine Ahnung, er redet eine halbe Stunde über Wege.
See, that's sort of
Inzwischen sind es 35.
the problem with doing a masterclass on environment. You sort of just notice these little things.
Ja, aber
and
immerhin,
you
ey,
just
ganz
have
ehrlich,
to do
Junge,
it
für
because
Leute, die jetzt noch nicht so lange bauen
you just
oder
have to.
die halt, sag ich mal, auch
But,
einfach nur so mit
yeah,
den nötigsten Mitteln bauen, glaube ich, ist das schon sogar ganz hilfreich sogar.
Ja,
Also ich
and I
kenne
do
eine
have
Handvoll
a
Leute,
little
die
log
in
right
Wildnis
here.
bringen und
A
auch
happy
manchen
little log.
Biestern oder auch manchen Großbiestern würde das
I'm
an
gonna
sich jetzt
meander
schon
around.
ziemlich viel bringen.
We're not gonna
Mm.
move it. We'll move that then. Get
I
out.
agree with this.
But yeah, you
So,
can
mal
tell
kurz
that I
in
love
meinen
coarse dirt because
Chat
this
gucken,
texture is just
wer hier
insane.
geschrieben hat. Keiner.
They should have won Game of the Year award
Das
for
ist so
just this texture.
Schade.
I'm actually gonna put a little bush here.
Ja, ich habe
A
keinen
little
Bock
bush
jetzt
here
irgendwer
too.
Fragen zu
And a
beantworten,
little
Alter.
bush there.
Ich will das jetzt sehen.
Boah,
Maybe
Digga,
one or
diese
two.
Büsche, die triggern mich,
Yeah, right
Alter.
there. Easy.
Diese Büsche triggern dich.
Actually easy.
Digga,
Do I
diese
have a
Büsche
set
triggern
palette
mich
when working
richtig.
on a
Diese
given
random
landscape
Blöcke
where those
einfach
pick
als
fits?
Büsche.
Ich hab's
Du
auch
wirst
gerade
morgen
so.
eine richtig harte Zeit
Random
haben.
Blöcke.
For the most part, I kind of sort of look at
Sag mir nicht, dass die gerade
maybe
angesagt sind.
maybe
Nee, ich mach
looking
das
at
einfach,
like
wenn die
mountain
Zeit zu Ende geht.
terrains around my area
Immerhin.
because I do live in the Pacific Northwest, so we have a lot of mountains around here. And so for the most part, I don't look at certain palettes. I don't work with any palettes. I personally I think that it's sort of a restriction and I want to keep my options open. But I definitely do I do work with certain palettes, but I don't have a specific palette that I always work with, and I don't set up palettes in the beginning of builds. I think it's too restrictive. So I'm just going around dotting just these grass ones here. And especially up towards the walls, I want to keep these pretty dense because I don't want people to just look at this weird sort of hard transition. I want this smooth grass in front of it so it sort of blocks the ugliness.
Weil, Digga, er kann doch nicht an jedem...
Just
an
I'm
jedem
actually gonna go
Übergang...
User joined your
back
channel.
into speed 5 because I'm gonna go around
Ist immer noch
Digga,
gemutet?
Alter,
just
ja.
dotting these
Klein muten.
a
Ach,
little more
was?
dense up the
Right.
up the paths or up the walls.
Ja, schon die Masterclass an.
Oh, I think people need to. I am above the meadow right now. If you want to,
Wir
you
schauen
want
die
to find me and
Masterclass
spectate
an.
me,
Ja, er hat
make
wahrscheinlich
sure
keinen
you're
Plan,
not
was das
losing me
ist.
because I am going pretty quick. I only got an hour to do this, so
Oh, Benko,
Okay, we're
hör
gonna
uns einen
keep up.
Vortrag an.
so just continuing along. With
Minecraft
these
bauen.
nice little grass patches.
Ja.
Definitely want to keep it a lot more dense where I don't want players to walk. So around the pathways, I'm gonna keep it
So,
really dense.
komm.
Just so that I can keep
Schau
in
dir den
mind
Livestream an.
where
Du siehst
Digga,
das
schau dir
irgendwie
einfach den
dann.
Livestream mute, bitte, danke.
Ja.
Yeah, so they'll walk down here.
Ich sag ihn dir
They won't
danach. Der Livestream
meander
bringt
off,
dir
I
jetzt
don't
sowieso
think.
erstmal kurz
I
mal
hope
was
they don't,
anschauen.
because
Das
it kind of looks ugly up there. But yeah, I'm gonna
MCB
Oh,
Conserver.
Digga,
pretty
ich
dense out here
mute dich
too.
jetzt,
I
Alter.
want
Klar,
this.
muten.
We'll come back to this and we'll make it pretty colorful. Well, maybe not
Ich
colorful,
habe mich
but
schon längst
Da ist
gemutet,
die
damit man
IP
Casey
ja.
reden hört.
nice and popping.
Ich hab die
I'm
IP
just coming
vergessen.
around the, especially where
Also ich hab sie
these
wirklich vergessen.
Ja, ich auch.
these weird
Guck doch
grass
einfach auf
trees are.
Twitter,
I'm gonna
Mate. Auf Twitter,
put these
MCB
pretty
Content.
dense because I
Hä?
and I
Das wird
want
gleich
Digga,
noch
dann
sehr
sorry.
hart.
yeah. So for the most part, I'm just gonna keep on.
Kein Bock jetzt
There's not really like a
Ist ja auch
technique
nicht
to this,
auswendig.
but I'm not gonna just like I'm not gonna
Gras
do
auch
this. and
anders
just,
gesetzt.
go crazy and just put it everywhere.
Casey
So
ASMR.
Warum ist...
yep, may have done too much there. But yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I'm just gonna put it around certain textures. These darker textures, I'd like to put more grass because you can see these pretty easily. It's a little harder to see them when they're on this lighter biome texture, but it's really easy to see them when they're on this darker
Kollege, du bist noch
Mesa
20
texture.
Minuten.
So I want to keep that in mind.
Oh, immer noch. Mal sehen, ob
especially where
er auch noch zu was anderem
pathways
kommt.
are
Ich weiß es nicht.
Können wir darauf abschließen?
sort of.
Ja,
I like
ich
to
glaub,
also
das muss
make
man
sure
nicht.
that
Ich glaub,
I'm
da
walking
sind alle
through my
Stimmen auf der
pathways
einen
because
Seite.
these are where people are going to be. The
Aber
most.
Es wird bei den Wegen bleiben.
I hope.
Also
I hope they're going to be around the pathways more because I didn't spend 5 hours working on pathways. But yeah, when I'm doing this, I like to walk through just to make sure I'm not missing certain sections. Like right
Ja, es
here,
ist
I
jetzt nicht
missed this
schlecht,
section,
aber
but I'm
dass
gonna
ich irgendwie, weiß nicht,
come back and fix it. Is it?
irgendwie kommt mir
Es
das so
ist
vor,
recht
als wenn es
Standard.
nicht so, als wenn er sich
Especially
nicht so
where
richtig
these height differences are,
vorbereitet hat.
I'm
Keine
gonna
Ahnung, er
keep
hat so mehr vorbereitet.
one block tall grasses.
So viel
I'm
kann
not
ich
gonna
sagen.
go
So
around
weit hat er sich.
throughout
Hat sich
these
schon Mühe
double
gegeben.
tall
Ja,
grasses
klar.
because
Ich finde, das ist
I
halt
feel like
wirklich
it's
Standard
probably
so.
it maybe actually does kind of look good, but
Warum ist da jetzt eine fucking
I
Blume
feel like
drüber?
it's probably too much for these to be here. So I'm just gonna come back and
Was hast du gesagt, Larix?
Wo er diese
mess with those a bit.
Doppelgrasblöcke
So-
gesetzt hat,
That's my brush. There it is.
war
Ja,
einfach
ja.
eine Blume drüber.
Especially around this little rock. I want to keep it
Oh, Junge, aber er klatscht halt auch
pretty
über.
dense. Yeah,
Aber er klatscht halt auch überall nur die
So
Dinge.
I think for the most part, actually, let me get at speed 5 so I'm not making anybody very angry. I keep forgetting about it. So around the pathways, like I said, I want to keep this a little bit more dense, just because I don't want people to just meander off. And in these open sections, I also wanted to keep it a little bit dense, but way less dense than around the pathways because players are not going to be walking here very often. And we'll come through and put flowers there in the
Probier das aus,
the
keine
later
Ahnung, ob es
hours.
geht. 1,12,2.
So, I think for the most part, I am.
Nein, warum hast du ihn jetzt die AP geschickt, Mann? Jetzt wird er wieder fragen, wie
I
kommt der
like
hin?
where
So
this is
ein Scheiß,
going.
Alter.
Okay.
Ja,
So
das-
Ja,
now,
aber es wird
since I'm
Masterclass
outside of a pathway, I'm
Das
gonna
wird einfach
keep it
nicht abfucken,
pretty,
Alter.
Das sage ich jetzt noch.
pretty normal. But I also want to keep it fairly dense, especially up around here. I find that grass textures look really nice when they're sort of
So
into
binder,
the
Alter.
erosion
So
of my
binder.
terrain. So I'm gonna keep these pretty dense out here. especially since I'm not going to see people walking out here because there is no
Mann.
pathway.
Hey,
The only
warum,
way to get around
warum
here
hat er
is
so
to
ein großes
you know,
Projekt hier stehen und macht jetzt überall Gras hin?
get out here, you know,
Warum macht er
break
das nicht
through
einfach
my
so ein kleines
pathways that
Blatt
I've
und zeigt so
worked
mega
so
viele
hard
Sachen?
on.
Das ist viel besser.
But yeah, I want to keep these pretty dense because I don't think players are going to be really paying attention to this as much.
Es wird auch weniger.
And especially
Zeit kosten.
along these ridge lines, I want to keep a lot of grass. Because if
Digga,
you
der
look
macht
at
es
it,
aber nicht überall hin,
it
oder?
looks pretty nice.
18
And
Minuten.
I'm also going to put it here and in
Da
there.
wird nicht mehr viel kommen. Leider.
Actually, I'm gonna undo that one. I don't like
Ey,
that one.
Benko,
ganz ehrlich,
man
Benko,
hört
du
den
hast
Stream bei
ein
dir
Echo,
doppelt.
Alter.
You like ferns.
Sorry.
I like ferns too. We're doing ferns next. Ferns are very important. They're the
Yeah.
best texture. Actually, they're not the best texture, but they are very good.
Ferns are
I'm actually gonna
sexy,
go.
ja.
I'm actually gonna go to ferns now. Turn my masks off. Get rid of my brush. Get out of here. Oh, I can't drop it.
Bitte,
So
okay,
the
bitte
next
sag
brush I
mir,
want to
dass er
do is ferns. Let me
Lol,
see what their
er
ID real
colored
quick.
mit-
That's 2.
Mit
Okay,
den
so BR
Farbstoffen.
sphere.
Junge,
Fern
wer hat hier ein
texture.
fucking Echo? Benko.
Since I don't
Ich hab
want
mich
there
schon
to
lang
be
Du
gemutet,
hast
too
aber
many
seit er
ferns,
reingekommen ist.
Kein Muten so.
beim
I'm
ersten Mal.
going to
User disconnected from your
make them
channel.
only a
Richtig.
smaller brush. So
Er
the
macht
command
jetzt sich noch
sequence I did
Fahne
was
hin. Ah.
Natürlich, Fahnen sind wichtig.
Hey lol, die haben aber,
Ja.
die sehen aber eigentlich viel besser aus.
just
In,
that, and then I
Ja,
masked
1.14.
above the grass, and I
Ich habe auch das
G-masked
1.40
0.
Texture Pack drin. Ich spiele einfach mal.
Let's see. We like them up here. We like them over here too. Oh yeah, I'm feeling a little crazy. I might add them right here too. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
feeling
That's good. That's good.
crazy.
So
Wie viele Zuschauer? 3 Zuschauer.
I don't
Knack
think
hier,
I
Alter.
really need ferns on the ridgeline because, in my
Zuschauer
opinion, I
das
think
Stream.
ferns
Oh,
are
Goldi,
more
Grüße,
of a
Alter. Sag mal, redet der jetzt eine gefühlte
more of
halbe
a
Stunde
aesthetic
über Wege.
than a practicality.
das
I
macht
think
er.
the grasses are definitely more practicality because it definitely takes away from
Er redet nicht mehr über
the
Wege.
blandness.
Ist so, true,
But,
mittlerweile nicht mehr.
I
Ja.
definitely want to add ferns where I see them, or where I see they need to be. And I think that there definitely needs to be some ferns around here, especially on these
Ja,
main
lustig, wenn
pathways
es
right here.
Evaluations geben
Also
würde
maybe down here.
für Masterclasses.
Maybe not, like, I'm not going to put them, where's the section that I can find? Yeah, I'm not going to put them, like, right here, because they sort of look a little lonely there. And I want to bunch them up right next to the grass. So, add them where I see fit.
Ey, ich freue mich schon
Maybe
so, wenn
right
ich
there,
meinen
man.
PC habe, ey, wenn ich meine ganzen Teile
Also
habe.
right
Ich
there.
hoffe, die bekomme ich noch vor Weihnachten.
And right there. Ooh, excuse me. I got the hiccups.
Hat er
But
davor
yeah, I
was
definitely want to
gegessen?
add ferns all throughout this little forest because forests have ferns. If you didn't know, it's how
Ich
they
bekomme
live,
immer
I
Schluck auf,
guess.
wenn ich bei Macis bin, Alter, und so.
But yeah, I definitely want to add a little bit
Übergängen
more
Alter.
ferns here because
Ja, aber man muss halt ernsthaft
Okay.
sagen, so, also auch wenn jetzt es
I like
recht
that. We're
wenig
gonna add
war,
them
so
down
was
here
er
too,
erzählt
just
hat,
because
oder
we're
er hat
still
sich
next
viel
to the
über
forest. We're
einseitige
not,
Dinge
like,
geredet, aber
in the
trotzdem
middle
so
of the
immerhin
field. There's not
erzählt
gonna be
er
a
was
fern in the
so.
middle of the field.
Mein,
It's gonna be right next to some
muss
trees.
man halt erstmal machen. So.
But
Ich bin mal
we'll add
gespannt,
them
wie
right here.
Plutos Masterclass wird. Am Sonntag.
Über was hält er?
Yeah. So if I walk
Bäume.
through this path,
Wie bitte?
Bäume.
Ah,
I notice
ja, mal
it
gucken,
looks a
was er da
little
dazu
Was
bland,
ist
sagt.
eigentlich
so
die
ferns. More ferns.
Rendering
this is weird. I
Masterclass?
don't
Wird
like
da
that.
das
We're gonna
dann
get rid of it.
gezeigt, wie man halt so
Ich weiß nicht,
Renders macht und so?
was sie machen, aber alle von denen, die da mitmachen, sind eigentlich
I
ziemlich
love this
gut.
chat. It's crazy. They love ferns. You love ferns just as much as I do. It's humbling.
Mhm, okay.
Ferns better than walls. Oh, absolutely. You know what? Actually, we'll keep it. I think he's okay with that.
Classic Farms for
But,
what? Ehre.
Yeah. So I really like where this is
What
going.
is it
So
with
we'll
trees for
continue.
fern,
Boah, komm,
though?
Bruder, komm noch wenigstens zu den Steinen, Alter. Meint ihr, er rundet die Steine mit Treppen?
Actually, I want to
Nein,
remove
Nicht?
some of these grass
ich
blocks.
kann sagen nein, weil ich das
Don't do that.
Tutorial dazu schon gesehen hatte.
Add ferns.
Also ich
Ja,
sage
hier,
nein.
genau sowas hätte er jetzt auch zeigen können bei den Steinen. Da sieht
And
man
some more
unter
ferns.
den
Perfect.
Dirt-Block.
I don't want to.
Ja, Mann, eigentlich.
I don't
sowas
want to add
weiß
too many
ich auch
ferns,
immer
especially
aus.
right next to the water well.
Aber das machen auch
because
so
I
viele
feel
falsch
like
auch bei
it-
Bäumen und Wurzeln und sowas, Junge. Jetzt
I feel
Ja,
like
dass
it's
das dann
vor allem
noch
impractical to add.
auch
dass man
beim
den Grasblock
Fundament
sieht.
oder so. Ich
Too many-
verstehe es
too
nicht,
much
das ist doch
vegetation
so
where
logisch, aber es machen
People
so
are
viele
actually
falsch.
going to be walking. Because I feel like,
Das
yeah,
muss
they
ja
need
wohl
some
nicht
water,
auch
right?
stehen.
Leute die Mühe.
They need to take baths and cook their food.
Ja, aber ich finde, es ist einfach nötig so.
No, you don't. It's Minecraft. You don't need to take a shower. Who takes showers? Especially when they play Minecraft, right?
Junge, einfach nur Minecraft.
Okay, keep adding ferns. You can see this
Minecraft.
takes a very long time. Environment is nothing short of a long process. And I seem to have completely messed everything up here, but we'll keep adding ferns. Especially underneath the pine trees, we'll add ferns. Oh, that really didn't place anywhere. Keep adding ferns. A little bit more here too. So next I want to
Right.
actually I'm not gonna do the whole build. I'll just do this front, like more of the front section in this left side, but I think what I want to do next is my favorite flower in the entire game. Where are
Oh,
you?
ja,
There
jetzt
you
kommt's,
are.
Alter. Jetzt
This
kommt er
one right
gleich mit so
here.
einer Rose an, wetten wir.
Are you ready to see a
Vielleicht-
revelation?
Warte, wenn das jetzt die blaue
Bang.
ist.
Nein!
Best flower in the game. Definitely, absolutely my favorite. And it works
Ich
perfectly here
hab's-
because I have red roots.
38,3 ist meine Lieblingsblume.
So, what I want to do,
Kannst gerade nicht sehen, was das für eine ist.
it's a little
Das ist,
tricky,
die-
but
Ach, diese kleine weiße.
Ah ja,
I'll
true.
add-
Ich finde die blaue, die so
I'll add
aussieht, so
red
ein wenig
spots,
wie so
I
ein,
guess.
ich weiß nicht, die erinnert mich
Blotches,
so
I
an
guess.
einen Bonsai.
We'll dot these around a
Blue
bit.
Orchid.
geformt
I
ist.
don't want to have
ich glaub,
too
das
many
ist
of
die-
these
Ich will
because
eigentlich
I
auch
think
benutzen.
that
Ich finde die kleinen Weißen eigentlich auch
I think
richtig
since
geil.
they're 2
Aber ich
blocks
weiß
tall,
nicht,
they might
ich
look a
glaube, es
little
kommt auch dran,
spammy.
was man baut, so.
But
Teilweise
I'll
mag
add
ich einfach
them.
nicht.
Also Bluets
in
kannst du einfach
just little-
überall
little
benutzen. Also
bundles
zumindest
around.
nimmst du den ich baue, weil das passt einfach
Around
immer
the
dazu.
place.
Na gut, stimmt auch wieder.
Also die sind so,
Maybe
so
one right here. Actually, yeah, we
universal
definitely want a few right here.
anwendbar.
Ey, die Blume sah schon
Boah.
scheiße aus bei mir, weil darüber
Maybe.
noch diese...
Alter, ich
Rosa.
mag
Since
diese
we have
Blume
these
gar
red
nicht.
textures right here, I'm actually going
Jetzt
to
eine Bild, Junge.
add
Ich
some
mag das
red as
gar nicht
well
da
in there.
drin. Irgendwie, ich weiß nicht.
Just because I think
Sieht das gut aus, oder?
I
Ach, an
think
der Stelle
the
ist
red
okay.
looks nice.
Wisst ihr jetzt, wie
I
man einen
want
Weg baut?
them to by them I mean the
Bergknuddel.
player that walks through.
Ja.
Mittlerweile
gerade
schon.
noch
Das
build.
sind jetzt krasse
I want
Wegbilder.
them to
Hat sich
look
das
Wir
hier
bewerben uns als Wegbilder bei
to
den
at least have
Kriegsgebietern.
it look like I tried. So
als ob er das Hand so, das Gras irgendwie so platziert.
Ja, kann man
no,
doch
I
so
don't want to
machen.
sound lazy or
Wie
anything.
machst du das denn?
There really is
Okay, ich mach's anders.
Wie?
there really is no like
Ja, ich
method
mach's
to this
irgendwie
other
random,
than
weil ich zu
just
faul bin.
if
Da.
it looks good.
Ja,
it
markiert
looks
die
good. I can't place
ganze
things. Why can't I
Position und
place
macht dann
things?
einfach
Okay.
übers Gras drüber.
Ja.
Well, that's weird. I
Mit ein wenig Luft
seem...
dazwischen.
Oh, there's a person there. That's why. What the heck?
Bruh.
Ich bin gespannt wie ein Bogen, was du aus meinen
So I'm
Gebäuden
gonna
gemacht
keep on,
hast.
not next to the water. And not over
Mhm.
here either, actually. I'm gonna remove these.
Auch.
Ich werde dich
Um,
morgen sehen um 13 Uhr.
13 Uhr, Junge,
Ja.
genau da werde ich safe
Ja,
essen
ja,
müssen,
ja,
Mann. Das ist
I
so
like
richtig
that.
bitter.
So walking
No,
through
Ja, ich
again,
eigentlich auch, aber ich habe
very handy to
gesagt,
walk
dass ich nicht
through
zum Essen komme.
build because if you're not walking through
Ich muss
build,
einen Vortrag halten, Mami.
how are you gonna
Das geht
know
gar
how the
nicht.
player feels?
Ja.
Keep adding
Ja,
these.
so sage ich das.
Mhm.
And
Mama, bring mir
actually
Essen
next to these, I'm gonna add a
On
little bit
stream.
of grass just because I don't like that there's this 2 block tall and then all of a sudden there's nothing here. So we're gonna add a few bits there just to break up the hardness of it, to smooth the transition out just a bit.
So, mal
Ja,
sehen, ob
that's-
wieder
that's good
Nachrichten
right here.
geschrieben wurden.
It's okay. I'll add one right there actually.
Forest has fans.
For the most part,
Did
I'm
you
not
know?
opposed to
Ich bin
adding
gespannt wie ein
vegetation on
Ende
pathways, but
Peter Fanboy.
if it's this
Alter.
small,
Wer
I'm
ist
not
das denn
gonna add
jetzt?
too many. Like I've added one
den
right
kenn ich,
here.
den kenn
I
ich.
also have one right here in
Das
front
ist
of
einer
the
von einem Server, den ich kenne.
in front of the
Der heißt
bush.
Ingame Jones 99.
But I am absolutely
Yeah,
going to
okay.
add some little
Peter
happy
Fanboy,
grasses
Junge, nenn dich mal
around
um.
here. Also around here, I want to make sure that the rose bushes aren't too harsh of a transition. So
Ich sehe meine Maus nicht mehr. Oh, wahrscheinlich, weil ich Inge bin. Ha.
we'll add these around. It's
Ah,
actually
der Typ da.
actually good
Ich
that
will
Minecraft added stairs because we can do stuff like this.
War so klar, dass sowas noch
Sort
kommt.
of,
Was hat er gemacht?
sort of
Ja, die
break
hat so
the
Stairs in
the
den
flat
Weg
bits
reingemacht.
up
Aber so einzeln.
just a tad. I sort of
Yeah.
sort of think
Habe ich
of
auch
this
mal
as like
gemacht auf
maybe
meinem P4,
some
wo ich so
wood
eine
planks
Brücke
Man
that
könnte
they've
dies
added.
auch eine
I sound like
Wege-Masterclass
Bob
nennen.
Ross, but like actually they look like wood
Nein,
planks that
Larik, das
make
ist ein
it like
Environment.
reinforce an area that is
Ah.
Man könnte
Hä,
es
a
warum,
little
warum
not.
connecten denn die Stairs jetzt nicht?
Bob Ross, yeah. I love Bob Ross,
The
dude.
path to
I would
success.
On Twitch for hours watching Bob Ross, and I definitely have
Ist
the
das
sort of
connected?
same attitude when I'm doing this
Warum redet ihr
because
jetzt über Bob
Bob
Ross?
Ross loves what he do, and I
Weil
love
jemand
what I
Connecten
do.
die Stairs jetzt nicht, Alter, das triggert
Easy.
mich.
Die Stairs connecten doch.
Bei mir connecten die nicht.
But yeah, so for the most part, I'm gonna
bist du
break
in der
these pathways up. I
1.13?
probably should have
Ich
gone
bin
over
in
this
der
earlier,
1.14
but I'm
dabei.
now just
Ja, das
realizing it.
erklärt warum.
So deal with it. My masterclass, not yours.
Die Rosen sind bei mir auch komplett
Oink.
verkackt. Da ist einfach drüber dieser...
Ja.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Liegt an der
them
1.13. Oder bis 1.14.
on
Ich hab das
these
Problem
thinner
auch. Ich muss
parts.
auf
I
die
don't want to
1.12
add too
oder
many.
Ah, shit.
I've definitely
Kann
added a
Version
little
nicht
bit more
wechseln.
over here, but I kept it pretty thin over here,
Mhm.
but definitely right
Das
here.
war
I
jetzt
wanna
einfach
add a
straight
couple
eine
more
Stunde
because
verschwendet.
just
Ja,
makes
aber
me
ist
think
ja nicht
that
vorbei.
Jedenfalls für Leute.
this pathway
Ach so,
should be
ja.
that flat, and
Es
it
geht
is a
dann noch
little
kurz
messy out
auf
here. Just
Placements
because
von
I think it should be
Pilzen
messy
ein.
with the trees, and I feel like this is probably a little bit less traveled. Only over here though, because I don't think that I want to add it everywhere because it is a little messy. But yeah,
Very
we'll add
lovable
these.
Meme.
See where we think another one needs to go.
Was kommt jetzt dann danach?
I won't
Erstmal
add them
gar
here
nichts, oder? Aber
because
dann
I
kommt der
don't
Craniac
think
Masterclass.
that,
Ja,
Ja.
dann sind dann
Oder
2000
nicht,
Das
Stunden.
würde
oder?
ich
oder?
euch tatsächlich mal
but it
empfehlen.
probably does need it over here actually.
Ja.
I
Ähm,
want that.
lohnt sich. Also
Oh,
ich
that.
bin mir sicher, dass es sich lohnen wird.
Ja,
Und
I-
Arcanix hat auch
Yeah,
schon ein
maybe
paar
not
Sachen
right.
aufgesetzt, dass das visuell ganz angenehm wird.
Ich
Easy.
freue mich.
Also definitiv hat er sich da mehr Mühe gegeben.
Oh, that's probably so.
Du machst auf
Here's the
Englisch, oder?
tricky part. I don't think that I needed it right there,
Nice.
but maybe I just need to place it in a different way. Yeah, okay. So if I do it right here, it kind of looks awkward with the grasping right there. If I do it right here, you can see it again.
Boah, Digga, das
I do
ist
it
so ein
right here,
Tutorial
it's
für
worse.
Anfänger, Alter.
But if you do it like
Oh, und ich bin kein
that,
Anfänger mehr.
it's
Ja,
right in the
Hashtag
middle, so I'm
Abproben und
okay
so,
with
ne?
that. I think I'll keep it right there. Actually, I want to make sure
Profibilder.
that this is not too weird. of a
Danke, Knuddel, danke.
position, so. Yeah.
Junge
Yeah,
hat einfach den
this is
Pfosten
kinda-
nicht bis in den Boden
We're not going
runtergezogen.
over structures and theories here, boys.
Nein,
we don't
Junge,
do
das
that.
Er hat das Haus einfach reinkopiert. Nein, er hat es nicht mal
So.
reinkopiert, er hat es darauf gebaut auf dem
I
Terrain.
think I'm missing
Nee,
some
das ist
grass blocks
reinkopiert.
over here,
Safe
boys.
ist das reinkopiert.
Oh mein
Keep adding
Gott.
Yeah, we'll keep adding them.
Ich meine,
I'm
die
not going to
Atmosphäre,
add
die er
any in
gemacht
this
hat,
center
ist jetzt
place
erstmal
because I
nicht
feel like
krass,
this
aber
is
das
probably more
funktioniert
well
schon als
kept than
Anfang.
the area around it.
Kann man
We also have a little fruit stand
anfangen.
where
Oh ja, okay.
all your
Das
fruit
besser
needs.
könnte
Ein
Oder-
Essenstand, der
ein
sowas von
Give this
Default
guy a
aussieht, Alter.
Oh, jetzt ist
Oh.
er nicht mehr Default.
Oh, scheiße, die Treppe ist da drin.
There you go.
Die Treppe,
Yep,
Trap-
he only sells
Trapdoor.
apples. Nobody lives here
Ist ja
anymore.
die
So,
Strukturen.
whatever. Let me
Ja,
scrap my
es ist
rose
doch gar nicht so
bushes
schlecht
back.
geworden. Also ernsthaft.
And
Ja.
maybe I want
Also
to
wenn man sich
grab
gerade den Still anschaut,
a
wo er
dead
gerade ist.
bush.
Also
Whoa. Can I even place these? Okay.
Anständig aus.
könnte man natürlich schneller
So.
machen, aber
I think it's good to know
hm,
Ja.
that dead bushes exist because they are pretty handy.
Aber wenn da so viel
So
drin
I'm
ist, dann
only
sieht das
going
halt
to add the
schon
dead
gespammt aus.
bushes on
Also
coarse
keine Ahnung,
dirt
dieser komische
and
Busch
I'm
mit diesem
only going to add them
Portionblock,
under
das fuckt mich
trees.
richtig ab.
So something
Ja,
like
die Büsche an sich
something like
triggern
right
mich
here.
richtig.
I'm not going to add any. Or right there, I'm not going to add any because there's no,
Oh, der
there's no
orange
leaves underneath
Buschblock
it.
da.
So I don't think that it's practical. So we'll keep putting things around here. You had some leaves that died.
there you go.
Yeah. I'll push that one in a bit. So yeah, I want to keep it fairly practical. But-
Mann, ich werde auf Steam wieder von 1000 Leuten
Nee,
geändert,
not so
Alter,
much.
weil die alle mein scheiß Inventar wollen, die Drecksack.
Oh, I apparently can place on Podzol too, so we'll put one on Podzol. But yeah, since there is
Ignorieren, weg mit euch.
a leaf right here, so we'll add it right there. Yeah, that looks good.
Ich bin ja bei
Here's
der
this
Erkennix wirklich gespannt, was
But
da
yeah, I
alles...
think the dead bushes kind of look like dead branches, so maybe a dead branch. over
Warte
there.
mal,
And a couple more.
Arcaniacs
Actually, not
wird auch
next to the
nur
path.
eine
So
Stunde.
something like this kind of
Ja.
looks a little awkward to me. So I'll push it in.
Aber er
so
wird mehr
there's
zeigen.
no, there's no
Mehr.
just like
Stunde ist
random
auch mal
drop
genug
off
für
between the
eine
rock
Masterclass,
or the
also
block.
sind wir mal ehrlich.
Well, there's no.
Ja.
there's no bush
Du willst
right
nicht
there.
eine Stunde
There's
mit dem
bush.
Weg verbringst.
No, it's
Ja,
bush.
ne?
Yeah.
Ah, Mann.
So this tree's pretty tall.
Ist jetzt nicht schlecht, aber ich hätte mir
Lots more
bei
bushes around it.
Ja,
dem
ich hätte mir
Thema
mehr
jetzt halt
erwartet auch,
echt
stimmt
mehr,
schon, ja.
echt
So that's
viel
my
mehr
that's
erwartet.
kind of my thought process on
Ja,
this.
generell
is
für eine
depending on the
Masterclass
type of
hätte ich
tree,
es auch ein
this is
bisschen
more like
Ich
an
hatte
oak tree.
weniger erwartet.
So I'm definitely gonna add a couple
Also,
more
weil
dead
du den
bushes
Typen-
around
Ja, einer
because
muss natürlich wieder auf der
oak
Reihe tanzen.
trees are notorious for branches being on the ground.
Tja.
Fun fact. Not a fun fact, actually. I just made that up to sound smarter. But yeah, we'll keep adding them if we see them. Actually, I want to add one right here because I think that this tree is a little dead. But yeah, we'll keep adding them if we see them. Oh yeah, right here too. Forgot about this path. We'll keep adding them. He's a little taller. That branch may have fell over there. This one right here too.
Warum guckt der immer in die Luft?
Yeah, we'll add a couple.
Weil er die Büsche nur unter Blätter setzen möchte.
We won't
also
go over
nur im
this
Raum.
just because
Aha.
I don't.
Hat das einen ästhetischen Effekt oder
Ja.
was?
Sinn.
Masterclass almost
Actually,
over.
How much time do I have left? Because
Das soll eine runtergebrochene
I-
Äste darstellen.
I didn't set a timer or anything, but okay, I can keep going. All right,
Obwohl,
easy.
die Masterclass,
It's, you can tell this is very long. It
Masterclass
takes
ist
a
sicher
lot. It
sehr gut
takes
für
a lot more
komplette
than you think, just
Anfänger.
because you do have to hand place a lot of things,
Nein, eigentlich nicht.
but not always. You can use brushes, like I'm going to use now, actually. So
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
use
grab
now.
what
2 Minuten
I
noch.
use.
Ich
38.
glaube, ich hätte
So I'm gonna
keinen
grab
meiner Blöcke,
another
die ihr jetzt
sphere
gesetzt habt,
brush.
per Hand gesetzt, wenn ich ehrlich bin.
3.
Ja, legit noch 2 Minuten.
Just like all
Nein,
the other
kann
brushes
ich
we've
nicht.
used, I'm gonna mask above
Was?
the grass, and then I'm
Bisschen
gonna
länger.
mask 0.
Nein, als ob er noch länger
And
redet.
maybe that's.
Seht ihr? Wunderschöne Blumen. Aber ich
Jetzt
will
wird
mal
das
Ja,
kurz
das
komplett.
wird
Oh mein
too
Gott, das wird jetzt wieder
But yeah, we'll
komplett
add
raus.
them. We'll add them around.
Warum
Das
macht
passt
er
sowas von gar nicht.
Ja, also mich stört nur, dass
Sure,
er nur den Block genutzt hat und nicht null. So.
Which
Ja,
command you
genau,
want?
das triggert mich doch
Ja,
auch,
aber
aber
die
die Blume sieht
dicht.
halt auch richtig scheiße aus darin.
Ja, die Blume steht so schön raus.
Ja, die
38.
ist halt einfach wie
Oh,
so ein scheiß
There
Bild, was
There you go.
eingefügt worden ist.
There's all the commands.
Mir persönlich gefallen halt einfach gar nicht dieser
Das ist viel
rote
zu hell.
Kontrast.
Es ist alles
For
so,
the most
so
part, I want this to
dunkler und
sort of
das ist
look
auf
like
einmal so
a
ganz hell.
mountain meadow.
Andererseits
Mountain
muss
Meadow.
man sagen, es ist
I might-
halt so...
I might actually undo that. I don't feel
Irgendwas
like there
hat's
needs to
halt
be
schon,
stuff
finde ich.
that pretty around an ugly river like this, but
Nee.
Ja, die Masterclass hätte es so ziemlich.
Was mich viel mehr
I've
triggert, dass er halt
I've
wirklich keine
messed
Luft
around
hat,
with
ne?
doing multiple masks and I haven't had any success with it. So I make it more complex just because
Danke.
I feel like it needs it. But I'm sure there are ways to do like double masks, but I haven't found one that
Ich
works.
schreib's ihn jetzt in den Chat.
So I'm gonna keep adding these. I should go into speed 5 because this is painfully slow, but yeah, we'll continue. I think I want to put one right here, but I think it kind of looks weird. So yeah, I've messed around with doing brackets and stuff, but
Ich bin jetzt unsatisfied, Alter. Durch
it
diesen
does
Anblick.
work. But just for the sake of being kind of simple, we're just gonna
Nimmst du
go
die
with that.
Masterclass von
So if
Mechanics
there
auf
are
oder
any double
streamst
tall,
du
yeah.
immer?
So
Ja, klar,
peonies work
stream ich die.
to break up
dann,
weirder
aber lässt
looking
den Stream online?
transitions like these, where this like
Yeah.
empty middle bit.
Okay, weil
But
ich
I
hab keinen
don't
Bock,
think
mir die
they
nachher
look very
anzuhören.
good here. So
Ich will pennen, Alter, ich bin
not
tierisch müde.
always them.
Ja, du kannst dir auf dem Handy auch ansehen.
Ja,
let's
eben,
see.
aber
We'll
wahrscheinlich...
add-
Ja, okay, nee, ich werde dann euch
Maybe.
eine Serie einziehen.
We'll add
Ja,
this.
aber wenn du streamst, dann guck ich sie mir an.
Ja, ich lasse es eh oben.
Dann
I
laberst
might
du
just
viel.
keep it bare, actually. Or oh, actually, there are
Yeah.
other flowers that
Könnt
are,
das und so einfach alle muten.
that are white. Yeah, we'll add a few flowers like this
Sag mir bitte nicht,
I'm
der
not
Quatsch
gonna
jetzt
add
alles
them.
mit Dings vor.
in the middle, just because I don't want them to be
Ist irgendwie
isolated. I want them to
wieder
sort of be
viel zu
grouped up
viel,
around
Alter. Es ist viel zu viel an einer
the,
Stelle,
the
viel zu viele Blumen an
azures.
einer Stelle.
the white ones.
Ja, ja.
So
Also
keep
so.
going with this.
Ja, so als Blumenbeet oder sowas dargestellt
Actually,
hat
I
er
think this
ja,
works a
aber wenn du
little better, just because
Ich finde, als Blumenbeet hätte das übelst geil machen können auch.
the,
Ja, das
the
sieht echt
azures
geil
are a
aus,
little
weil
smaller.
da ist der Fluss, der
I
so
feel like it
durchgezogen
puts
ist
a
und
little
auf
bit
der
of a height
Seite ist noch
difference
der
there,
Weg.
so it's sort of a
Ja,
little
doch,
more noticeable.
ja, cool, so ein kleines
Die look very nice,
Weizenfeld oder so,
So we'll add them
Lavendelfeld
around
oder
the
was auch immer.
pathway.
True. Vor allem, wenn er da auch vielleicht noch ein
Alright.
Häuschen oder sowas
Actually,
hingemacht hätte, ne? Der
Nee,
Weizenfeld.
Ein Häuschen wäre nicht gut.
Weiß ich nicht, ne.
Traubenfeld, das wäre perfekt, glaube ich.
Ein
Well, I'm
Weinfeld.
right too.
Ja,
Even though I
Weintraum.
I think it looks a little too clumped right there, but I'm gonna
Weintraumfeld.
actually keep it.
Ein
So-
Weinraubenstrauch.
Bridgen.
Yeah, I like where it's at, but I think it needs something.
Es braucht noch etwas.
Gute Voice.
Yeah,
Gewisse
I'm gonna
Touch fehlt da.
play around with some double tall grass maybe. Yeah, that looks alright.
Ach so, nur bei mir
So
sind
I'll
da
add
die
these
Blumen.
just
Ja,
in
bei
the
mir
middle.
Bei mir
Just
nicht.
so, actually no.
Hä,
I'm
gib
Ich bin
mal
in der
going to
1.14.
I
Mach
think
mal.
12, Jungs.
if I added them, it'd look too cluttered.
Dann muss man wieder zu
So
ihm.
I
und-
want to keep it
auf
just
ihn
a
klicken.
little, you know, a little bare, but not too bare. We'll add maybe a few more. Like,
Oh.
Jetzt musst du so ein Meme reinschicken, Alter.
so
I can hear
around,
this masterclass without
we'll play around
Buddy,
some
was
saplings
moved out of
around
your
this,
channel.
Mhm.
just
So
around
diese
the
Instagram-Memes.
water.
Oh Mann,
Stellt
jetzt
euch vor,
Ja,
jetzt wird
die
einfach
Saplings
gleich so ein
might
Sapling
look
einfach so
good,
wachsen, weil es nicht.
I'm not a fan.
Der Text wie du hast Stormblack nicht aus.
It's a little harder to do
Steht einfach im Baum.
around water just because most of the time around water there's rocks
so
anyway, but I
eine
haven't added
Trollwelt
rocks. I just
passiert.
kept
Ich
it
habe das so ein
grass.
bisschen mit.
Ist mir auch schon
So
passiert.
I'm gonna leave it for now.
Genauso wie wenn einfach auf einmal alles
Let me
abbrennt
just take
irgendwie.
one.
Ich werde ihn
More
jetzt mal kurz
buttons.
hier
I can't
muten in Discord, damit ich hier mal kurz so reden kann. Und zwar, es wäre ja geil, wenn es auf dem... Es gibt ja von Geminitai jetzt hier diesen Server, wo man mit der 1.13 drauf kann.
Oh,
Es wäre
Bro,
ja
als,
auch geil, wenn es
als
solche
ob-
Zwischenserver gäbe, wo man auch mit 1.13, 1.14 und so hochkommt, damit man mit den neuen Blöcken bauen kann.
Das gibt es doch.
Das gibt's gar nicht.
Doch, du kannst für 1.14 auf Börsenfisch bauen.
Ja,
auf-
aber wo kannst du dann bauen?
Ja, ich glaube, du kannst aber eine eigene Welt erstellen. Also, nee, es gibt so einen extra Server, ich weiß nicht, wie du da hinkommst, aber es gibt den.
Ich hoffe es, Alter. Aber es ist ja so dumm von Mojang einfach. Warum, wenn die Scheiß. Es ist halt komplett dumm, wenn die IDs wegmachen und die in
Junge.
keiner Version mehr hinzufügen.
ja,
Dann
Mojang
kommen die
ist
mit den
einfach
Plugins nicht mehr hinterher und du kannst gar nichts mehr machen, weil die werden. Ja, es geht gar nichts mehr. Guck dir diesen Fluss an, Alter. Der Fluss kommt einfach aus der Wand raus.
Dieser Fluss hat da oben so einen kleinen See, ne? Der
Ja.
kommt nirgendwo her. Da oben ist einfach
Just
so ein
looking
See.
Da oben
through,
ist
I
nicht
want
wirklich
to make
was
sure
okay.
that I've not missed
Kleine
anything, but also
Quelle
not
unter
made
dem
it too
Schloss, wer
cluttered
kennt's nicht?
for how I wanted it. I definitely wanted this area to be a little more cluttered just because these are pretty low hanging
Ja, es
trees.
ist nicht
so
schlecht,
there
aber
should
der
be
Weg-
leaves and there should be branches,
Der
there should be
Pozolblock, der
mud,
fuckt mich immer ab.
there should be all this stuff
Ja, ich
around
finde,
it.
der hätte ihn besser usen
Ich würde den
können.
Pozolblock
also
eher
around
unter den
the
Bäumen
lower hanging
platzieren, weil
trees,
das sieht
I've
dann eher
added
so aus,
dirt
als wenn da die
underneath
Blätter
just because I
runtergefallen
don't think that there's enough sun for the
Stimmt.
grass to really
Aber
grow.
dann auch
But
nicht so
there is,
random irgendwie.
with these tall
Ja.
trees, I haven't added any coarse dirt because I think that there should be some grass underneath
Ja, ich
these
finde
specifically
generell den
because
Block
they're much
wirklich
taller
den
than these ones. I
hässlichsten
feel
Block
like
in
there's some
Minecraft.
like
Ich
that
finde
can
den
actually
so
reach through.
war nicht geil.
So just going through, yeah. So I've added that under those. I added this one here just because I think this is a little lower hanging, and I don't
Buddy
think it's
joined your
very
channel.
light.
Going through
It's
some
pretty dark
shit
area.
right
So
now.
Hallo,
just
Fuchs.
looking over it,
Nein, wo
Hallo.
Fuchs, Alter, jetzt
We
stör
can
mal nicht
see
den Stream,
that
ich bin
this section on the right hand side definitely needs some work. So we'll go through,
Masterclass.
and this looks pretty
Ich möchte es aber, wo Fuchs hier, aber
Pretty-
kein Bock auf ihn.
open.
Hm.
So I might even go and add
Nein, er baut wieder helle Blumen hin. Ach,
a little
bitte
bit
nicht.
of
Es ist so
Meadow
so
Leaf
cringe.
flowers in
An
here.
sich sind die
I'm
Blumen
just
zu
gonna remove
passen.
some of the
Ja, aber
passen
doch
some
nicht
of
so,
the
nicht rein, weil das
so
viel zu hell
ein-
ist.
floppier ones.
Ja, aber er hat sie
Yeah.
auch viel zu dicht
I
gemacht, man.
also want
So
to
ein paar.
do my grass
Wie
plot.
Wie gesagt,
Schreibt
ich
mal
find
einer
auch,
rein,
dass
dass
die
die Blumen
irgendwas
hier nicht
haben.
reinpassen, Alter. Er soll die mal ersetzen, die sehen richtig scheiße
yep.
aus.
Mask above.
Was für
And
was für
she
Blumen
mask
würden
the air.
reinpassen so?
So I'll come through again. Just add these around.
Ja, so ein Pinkton
Just
vielleicht. für die
to-
Blumen.
Sort of break up the hard transitions.
Aber ich finde, da weiß wird sehr viel besser passen
I
als
don't.
jede
I
andere
doubt
Farbe.
I'll put any flowers here. I don't
Das
think I
Bild
need
hat
it,
eigentlich
just
eine nette, schöne
because
Aufstellung, so.
don't really see a
Da
point
ist
in adding
gar nichts,
flowers
was hell
right
ist. Es
next
ist alles
to
eigentlich dunkel. Und er haut dann
Ja,
right
noch
next to a
eben,
Blumen
wall
rein
and right
und das
underneath
dann
Das ist so ein
trees,
bisschen
but
nochmal, das sag ich mal. Es wirkt halt
Weißt du,
adding
wann er
interessant
wenigstens
und
mit
so.
dem
grass.
Mit dem
around
Coloring
here.
vom Biom
I won't
arbeiten
bother
würde,
doing
so wie
this whole
HC2 dann
large
wird das
section
nochmal
out
noch
here just
besser
because
aussehen.
I am
Aber
pressed
er
for
macht
time
einfach
just for
eine
a little
Simplex
bit,
und
but
haut die Biome random hin.
I will definitely add
Ja, das
them
finde ich.
around the
Ja,
place
das
just so
Ja, aber man
I take
kann
up
man als
that bland,
Grundlayer machen, so du kannst
fucking
zuerst den Simplex machen und
ugly
dann halt
grass
mit
texture.
in dem Biom
Ja, aber er wird
Brushes.
safe nicht
Sorry,
machen mit dem
Minecraft, if
Biom.
you're watching.
Ja,
I,
glaube ich auch
I
nicht.
like
Er wird
grass
Er
so
texture.
redet den
I
scheiß
just
Film
don't
als-
like
über den
this.
Weg,
I don't
Alter.
like how bland it is.
Er redet einfach 40
So-
Minuten über den Weg allein.
Junge,
adding
aber vor allem das
them in
triggert mich auch, dass er
sections.
überall jetzt das Gras hinsetzt. Man, es geht doch so viel
I
ein.
know I already went over this
Ja,
section, but I
ja,
think
kann
I
man
need to go
machen.
over it again.
Schon irgend.
Ich sag's ja, he's going through some shit right now.
And maybe even right here again, actually. Maybe it's a little too cluttered right there. It did sort of join up with the last one,
Irgendwie habe ich
but
das Gefühl, dass man sich über den
I'm
Typen
okay
lustig
with it
machen
for the
wird.
most part. And I definitely do want to keep it a little grassy next to
Ja,
walls,
bisschen
just
so.
so it breaks up
Aber das
that,
fände ich irgendwie halt auch
that
fies, weil
hard
Ja, das
eigentlich.
ist
block
halt wieder
transition
fies,
rather
weil
than having this
er-
nice smooth in front of it.
weiß nicht,
Ja,
macht sich
It's not
halt die
like a
Mühe und
full
zeigt
block
das.
transition. It's just
Er
kind of like
erklärt
a
es eigentlich auch nicht
subtle
schlecht, finde ich.
Ich meine, er erklärt es nicht schlecht und vor allem für wirkliche, sag ich mal, Leute, die es
Just
jetzt
looking
noch
around,
nicht
I
sowas
got some
wissen,
walls
so
right
mit
here,
dem
so we'll
Erklären und
add
sowas,
some
ist es
dirt
eigentlich schon
or
hilfreich
gasoline.
so.
Just
Digga,
so,
warum steht da
especially
eine
against this wall,
Kiste?
because this is pretty square.
Warum stand da eine Kiste?
I might
Ich hab's
actually
nicht
even go
gesehen.
as far as doing this.
Da stand eine Kiste. Habt ihr das
Adding a
gesehen?
few
Was ist die
bushes
Buildcon
around.
überhaupt?
Bildconvention, einfach Vorträge, Masterclass
Just-
und so.
Just to
So.
break that up just a bit. I don't
Ja,
think it
keine Ahnung,
looks
was das ist.
Vorträge
great.
über
I might
äh,
actually make sure I add
über
them
zum
down
Beispiel
here too,
Environment
just
und
so it looks
sowas,
a little,
was man machen
Oder
kann,
a
wie
little
es
bit more
ist.
like I'm not forcing it.
Aber
Aha.
irgendwie, ich
So,
bin
like, I've
richtig auf den
actually gone
Vortrag
through and
von
thought about it,
Chris
which I
gespannt.
haven't,
Irgendwie, da bin ich.
but-
Von der K-Next
Ja,
bin ich
ja,
am
ja,
meisten
Da bin
gespannt.
ich auch.
So
Gut, da
I'll
steht schon
continue
wieder die Kiste, hä?
Ich bin,
Lässt
ich
sie
bin,
wieder stehen, oder
ich bin
was?
so
doing
gespannt,
this
was
until I
Chris
see
aus meinen
that
Häusern gemacht hat, weil
I
ich habe ihm
don't
meine
need
Häuser
it.
gegeben, die ich mal im Stream gebaut habe.
Ich habe ihn letztens gefragt, benutzt du das? Also ich muss mal gucken, ja. Aber ich glaube, er
Oh
hat sie
yeah,
benutzt.
especially around this one too.
Meine
Not
hat
so
auf jeden
much
Fall
because
benutzt, hat gesagt,
it's sort of built into
Echt,
the
hat er
ich
dann
terrain,
kann
benutzt?
but
gespannt sein. Er hat gesagt, ich kann gespannt sein.
yeah,
Wahrscheinlich hat er sie einfach kaputt gemacht.
yeah, that's the problem.
Er hat einfach
Environment
Overgrowth
is
daraus
sort of
gemacht.
it's probably one of the more
Grief bisschen.
overlooked techniques, just because nobody knows that I've added a 2 radius sphere right here of grass. Nobody really
komischer
sees it,
Sauer Spawn.
but if you're looking for it, you'll notice it, and that's what I think actually sticks. And it does look nice if you do take the time and do what I'm doing right now.
Aber es sieht jetzt schon
definitely
nicht
notice
schlecht
it,
aus. Ich finde auch die weißen
but
Blumen passen eigentlich so im Gesamtbild.
if you
passen
don't notice
schon
it,
irgendwie.
then you're doing something right, because
Ja, auf welchem Server ist das?
it's sort of like that
Play.mc
fine line
Buildcon.net
between does it look good, is it
1.12.2
practical,
bis 1.14.4.
and I mean
Ich gehe da schon klar, nur
I would
paar
I would
Farben
make
sind
it
halt
look
bisschen
better
aufpassen
than
oder so.
if it were
Ja.
to be practical.
Mhm.
I don't really
Ich
mind
muss auch kurz
having
anschauen, also jeder redet davon.
something
ich
that's
weiß noch nicht, was
impractical to
Neues.
build, but depending on where I'm building and who I'm building
ja.
for,
Dann gehe ich mal wieder auf Bilder.
I tend to lean towards aesthetics, and I think that people kind of overlook it a little bit, but I'm okay with that.
Ist okay.
It's their experience, not mine. So I think, yeah, I think it looks nice being in a circle, but at the same time, it looks a little funky that it's so uniform. So I'll break the edges up. Both these corners need to be, yeah, there we go. So it's not super circular anymore. It's kind of like an oval.
Weißt du, wann der
Well, I
einzige
don't
Moment
get you.
ist, wo du sagen kannst, du kannst gut
And
singen?
we'll come through and we'll put the oxide daisies back just so that we have that
Wenn dein YouTube-Video darüber einfach einen
that difference in
Copyright-Strike
height
bekommt.
next to him. I think it looks a little
Nein,
better.
wirklich.
Ja.
And I
Oder
always
wenn es
group my
geclaimed
flowers. I
wird
don't
und
make
erkannt wird.
I don't do this. I don't like add them in random spots
Also,
because that's not how flowers work.
Aber das finde
Wenn du
ich
zum
jetzt
Beispiel
auch-
einen Song
Flowers like to live
coverst,
together, as Bob Ross says. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't like to add things in random spots. Of course, I'm adding blobs in random spots, but at least I'm grouping them up so that it looks like I'm.
Also
Moment,
erstmal
actually
die
thinking
MC
about it.
Buildcon.
Wie bitte?
It does
Ja,
go a
nochmal die
long
IP.
way. for the most part.
Play.mc.buildcon.net.
Yeah, controlled randomness. It is controlled,
Kriegt die IP doch einfach in den Chat.
Nö,
but
kein
that's
Bock,
that's
das
I think
auszuchatten.
that's the the thing that I learned to be
Gut,
the
dann mach
most
ich das
helpful
halt.
is
4
rather than
Zuschauer
just
seit
adding things
68 Minuten,
with like
6 Likes. Ich like auch mal.
actually let's just demonstrate it.
Ich like auch gleich
7
Larix, wenn dir.
So we'll come through and
Oh,
just
yeah.
put it right here.
Ich bin schon drauf, null Toast.
So like I'm not gonna go
EIP,
Set
wo du geschickt hast, glaub ich.
31-1, which is grass.
Ja, die Lobby ist
I'm
cool,
not
die von
gonna
mir.
I'm not gonna do that because I don't think it looks very nice.
Die Lobby hab ich gebaut.
I think it's too random for me. But rather if I do something like this and then I break them up just a bit
Ja, das sind doch, hä?
and then I add like
Hä?
and I do this, I think it flows a little better. I don't think that I don't really see like a
Ja, das sind ja
like a
alles
clear
P4
pathway
Plots hier,
through
das
this,
ist
but
ein
I see a
PC-Niveau.
clear distinction between grass and
Da hat er
this
schon recht, das war
one
grad
block
nicht
tall
schlecht.
grass.
Ich
Simplex
finde auch,
grass
dass es
can work
echt
as
gar nicht
well.
zu random aussieht, aber ich glaube, man kann es halt
Yeah,
auch
I think
anders
Simplex works pretty
machen,
well.
dass
Du
es
kannst
nicht
es
so
ja auch
For the
anders
most part, I'm
machen. Du
not
kannst
using
es,
Simplex
du
for
musst es
grass
ja
just
nicht mit der Hand
because I
anpassen. Du
think
kannst es mit
Simplex
dem
sort of makes
Prozentzahlen
things too
kannst du
circular,
rein und dann
and
die
I'm just gonna have to
Sphären
come through and
einfügen.
break the
kann
randomness
es
up
safe
anyway.
auch irgendwie
So,
mit Simplex machen.
Ja, mit Simplex sowieso.
so yeah,
Mit Simplex geht es eh viel einfacher
I
sogar.
think
Ja, aber
Auch
der
auf
Befehl
viel
wird wahrscheinlich
größer.
I think this is actually
richtig
almost
schwer
done. To
sein,
be
weil du
honest,
Nein,
das
gar
halt
nicht. Du musst im
there's not
Endeffekt
much
einfach
more I
nur
can do.
Simplex machen, aber
If
du
I
musst
do
einfach eine
more, I
Maß
feel
machen,
like
dass
I'm
es
cluttering
nur
it. If I do
über
less, then I feel like I'm
sozusagen
not doing
2
enough.
ist.
But
Also dass es nur über Gras
yeah,
oder da, wo du es halt
we'll add
größer haben
them where we
möchtest.
see
Und
that
da
there's
musst du im
grass that
Endeffekt nur mit
isn't,
der Simplex
just
mit
because I don't
Simplex
want
rangehen
there to
und
just
halt
be plain
angeben, wie
boring
viel
blobbiness.
0 und wie
But
viel Dings du haben
I'll
möchtest.
add them in like
Das wäre vielleicht nicht schlecht
sort of
gewesen,
like
wenn
a
er ein bisschen
checkerboard
mehr
pattern,
auf Commands auch
just to
gegangen
make it
wäre.
so that it's
Ja,
not
ich glaube, er
too
hat insgesamt irgendwie nur 6 Commands
too
oder so
boring.
Vielleicht hätte
geschickt.
er auch
And I
so
don't want to
zeigen
add blobs
können,
over
zum
because that's not
Beispiel,
really
ich
my
baue jetzt ein
thing.
paar Steine, kopiere die und füge die in die Landschaft ein mit einem Befehl, zum Beispiel du
Mixing
nimmst einen Stock
simplexes. Yeah, I think
und du
Einfach
bekommst
Pixel
den Befehl,
Tutorial.
wenn du auf
like I said, I
draufklickst.
think simplex is good, but I'm still gonna have to go
Ja,
through and
klar
break it
gibt's
up.
Pixel-Tutorial, aber das hat ja auch
But yeah,
Zeit.
if you do mix two simplexes together and you mess with
Das
Lars,
mit dem
the,
ja.
Baum, oder?
the factor a bit,
Ich habe einen
you can get
Twitter-Post
something
gesehen,
that
wie du
looks
dich einfach
pretty
in
much
seine
similar.
Bilder reinschleißt von der
I
Kanye.
like the hand placing because I think
Ja.
it looks like I put some love into it. Like I've done everything I thought about it
Deshalb habe ich es ja auch retweetet.
rather than just going through and putting a command in.
Das heißt, die Buildcon erklärt eigentlich
Simplex
nur
with
die
L2D,
besten
yeah.
Commands und die besten Dinge, wie man Häuser baut.
Yeah, that
oder
works really well actually.
die besten
Um,
Methoden.
Alles, wovor ist alles.
I think that'll
Es
go. I
kommt-
think
es
some
geht
of
das
these will
ganze
go in the
Wochenende.
next masterclass actually. Well, I just have to see.
Es geht
Ja,
das
aber im
ganze
meisten kann man
Wochenende.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Morgen
go
kommt
through and add
Hans
a
ja
little
3
more
mit seinem
grass here just
Vortrag.
because I think it needs it.
Boah, Junge, den muss ich mir so angucken, Alter.
Jetzt kommt noch der Vortrag.
And I don't want these pathways to be
Seite, der
too
beste.
flat.
Ja, und ich gehe was essen und pennen, Alter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ich bin auf den.
Und wie viele Leute schauen dazu?
Um die 100, glaube ich.
I think
Echt?
Mhm.
Au.
I think I'm pretty much done actually. There's not much more I can
Für
do.
den
Gott sei Dank bin ich
It's
schon
just
zu alt
adding
für das.
grass.
Dann, ja. Ich hätte es vielleicht noch ein paar Steine einfügen können.
Yeah, if you want to just shoot me questions, I guess I still have time, Vanessa. How much
Ja,
time do
nee,
I have left
67
until the
Leute
next
sind's.
class?
Ein paar Steine hätte er wirklich noch einfügen können, auch so kleine nur. So ganz kleine.
If they're still here.
Mhm.
Vielleicht auch noch ein
minutes?
paar
Die
Slabs
selbst
oder so.
bauen mit so
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Slabs.
yeah. Shoot me questions.
Ja, genau,
Just
genau.
keep shooting me questions, and I'll keep adding.
Ja, und wer hat dieses
Bro,
komische Schloss
you
da
can shoot me
gebaut?
questions
Er redet
in
jetzt schon
Minecraft chat or Twitch chat. I'll look at
1,5
both.
Stunden fast. Ah, knapp. 1
Uh,
Stunde 14. Aber
who
Und der
built
Typ
this?
ist
I
mir
did.
irgendwie
This is
sympathisch,
my
Alter.
this is my
eigentlich
Crimson
sehr
Keep
cool.
marketplace map
Ja, und
that I
reden die Englisch
put
oder
out, I
was?
think, in June
Some Stones maybe.
a while ago. But yeah,
Reden die Englisch?
this isn't a structure masterclass, so I didn't think it's important.
Wow.
But I did build this, yes.
Ja, es geht um 21 Uhr
Stone.
los. Er macht es
Yeah,
einfach
I've
nochmal
already added
45 Minuten. Ne?
Any tools I'd like to have to speed up what I do? I'm a pretty slow builder, so I think that speeding up what I do makes me miss spots. So
Ja,
I
schon-
like the
Ja,
flow
es hat
of
schon
the little
Atmosphäre,
process
wenn
I
man
have
da
with this.
durchläuft,
So
auch überhaupt bei dem einen
But,
Part, wo er grad war mit
I
der
mean,
Brücke.
all the Archeon tools are available on Patreon, and they're the best tools
Erst
out
gar
there.
nicht, halt bin ich
So
auch gar nicht auf Steine drauf eingegangen, so muss man sagen.
What's the
Doch,
command
er hat
that I
gesagt,
use to start
dass
to
er
mesh up
noch Steine
biomes? Oh, actually, yeah,
einfügt,
that's a
aber
good
ich
thing. We
weiß
can
nicht,
go
ob
with
er
that.
es jetzt
I wonder
vergessen
if I
hat, weil
actually
er
got
so viel
pasted. Yes, so
redet.
Stimmt. Ah, okay, mal gucken.
we'll just go over this real quick.
Ja, no,
This
was macht er jetzt?
is not a command that I came up with. Actually, this is a command that someone else came up with. Yeah. So this is just a standard simplex command with 2 L2D patterns mixed in. And if I do that command, we get this sort of like, we get this nice lighter grass texture, but you also get put commands in so people can find them easier.
Genau
Yeah,
mit sowas
actually,
kann
let me
man
just do that
richtig
right
gut
now real
arbeiten. Du
quick.
kannst bei diesen helleren so hellere Sachen einfügen, beim dunkleren
Ja,
eher
vor allem
dunkler.
Wait,
eigentlich an sich,
which Discord
das
channel?
hier
Sorry.
kann man so richtig gut als Grundlage so nehmen.
That
Dann
broadcast.
kannst du noch rübergehen. Also das geht richtig einfach und das geht auch gar nicht so
That
lang. Und ich
broadcast.
finde
Ja,
es
genau,
richtig
sowas
schnell.
wie
I'll do it
Template,
later.
dass du immer random machen kannst.
But yeah,
Mhm.
so no longer possible on 1.15. Yeah, I haven't played on 1.15, so, but yeah.
Oh, Bro, ich hab Hunger, Alter. Ich glaube, ich quitte.
So yeah,
Ich habe
this
gerade eine ganze Pizza
section
gefressen,
works
Alter. Ich
for
muss mal wieder eine Pizza
making it.
gönnen.
So actually, let me just do the regular syntax command.
Ey,
If we
Larix,
just do
streamst du immer noch?
Ja.
set simplex.
Ja, du wirst es bis zum Ende streamen, ne?
Mhm.
Ah, ich geh jetzt auf, ne? Ich hab keinen Bock
Jo.
mehr.
Hau rein.
Jojo, ich
Later.
hör auf. Bis
Haut rein.
morgen.
Bis zum
Ciao.
nächsten Mal.
Ciao.
So if we just do that,
Oh Mann,
if
der
we're
ist so ein
just
lieber
using,
Junge.
Oder ist das so ein Pink Touch irgendwie? Ne?
if we're just using that command, we get this super harsh transition. It does mix, but it's super hard transition. But yeah, I don't like to
Wenig
use it
Leute
too
an einem
much.
Zeitlag hier sind.
I think
Hast du
that
eine
this is
Pause
probably
zwischen dem
one of the
von
best ways to do it.
Arcanex
I think
oder
it's
nicht?
incredibly smooth. And there's a little bit of a checkerboard pattern, but that's just because Minecraft handles biomes like that. But yeah, mixes up more. I don't know, maybe. I think so. If you got more questions, fire away. Probably still more. I have like 20 more minutes, I think.
Don't forget the stones. Warte mal.
Wo
Actually,
schreibst du
noticing that
Ingame
there's
oder
pro-
Twitch?
Oh, I totally missed something that is incredibly important.
Die Steine. Komm, sag Steine.
Lights.
Ah,
Lights are very
Nein.
important. So
Lights?
torches are pretty handy for
Ah.
lights. If I just
Spielzeug
abuse my
leer.
powers a bit here. So, Dord, can you actually set your
Mein
Anderes
your
Gott.
lighting
cool
mode to
gewesen wäre
me
so
real quick?
mit Biom irgendwie so
You
Lighting
can change it
darstellen
back,
würde
but
oder
just
so.
for now.
Ja.
Was macht er denn jetzt?
It's
Ist
in
er jetzt
brightness.
AFK?
Yeah, you're on it right now. There you go. So now you're seeing what I'm seeing. So when I do my lighting, I make sure that I put lights every 12 or 13 blocks. And specifically for this build, since I am doing like a sort of older, more rundown castle, I'm not going to do these fancy lanterns. I'm just going to put fences on torches.
Der ist schon
torches
wieder
on
nicht
fences
auf
'cause
meine
I'm lazy.
Scheiße eingegangen.
But yeah, so every 12 or 13 blocks, which is pretty much
Schreib ja noch mal.
where light ends on Minecraft, I'm gonna stick a piece of light just
I never used Archeon once.
Just
Ja,
to
wahrscheinlich, weil
brighten
du die
up
Befehle nicht kannst. Ich kann sie auch
certain
nicht.
sections. Definitely the main pathway. I've been lighting the main pathway a lot. Excuse me. I should need some water real quick. Oh,
Bin
talking for
eher
an hour and a half
unter,
is not liking my throat.
Irios.
But yeah, I'm gonna add pathway, or I'm gonna add
das
lights on
wär
the
cool.
pathway just because I need them to be lit. Just because I know players will walk here the most, and I think that it's really important to have the main pathway to be lit up specifically.
Ich muss mal die Helligkeit anpassen, damit
So
das nicht
I
so hell
think,
ist.
yeah, I'm
Sieht
okay with
besser
that.
aus.
I'm gonna add, instead of a light post, I'm actually gonna do this.
Ja, no
Just 'cause that's
Reefs. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, main pathway, pretty lit, bro. But yeah, I'll add another. Oops, I'll add another torch there.
lit
And
TBH.
another torch here. Since this is sort of the main pathway, I'm gonna keep the lights pretty lit up. I'm actually gonna add some fences here real quick, just because I think that I don't want people to fall. I'll add a torch on there too. Am I streaming? No, Dord is actually streaming for me, which is who you're seeing right now. So main pathway is being lit up again. Easy. I don't actually like how this pathway looks at all, but what is waterway for me?
Ignoriert dich.
So my main pathway is pretty well lit. I actually want to light up the pathway right behind this man's house because it's a little too dark out
Ins
here.
Haus. Das ist
I'd be a little
sexy.
Buddy
scared if it was this
disconnected from
dark.
your channel.
But yeah, so we have this nice transition between wilderness and house residential areas. So, oh, oops, I don't want to break that.
Oh,
But
Herzinfarkt.
I'm gonna actually I'll do the main path real
Oh,
quick.
kurzer Schlaganfall.
So
Yeah.
right here. I don't like when fences connect on both sides. So when they connect like this, it sort of looks a little awkward for me. So I put it one
Lol,
block
die
out so it
connecten bei
only
mir nicht.
connects on the
Na,
back
bei mir
side.
auch nicht.
So it's a little less noticeable,
Nein,
but
ist ja nicht.
Hä, das wird viel
it
besser
makes a
aussehen,
big
wenn die nicht
difference in my
connecten,
opinion.
Alter. Das sieht doch viel besser aus.
But yeah, that's already lit up mostly. And right here, I'm actually not going to light it.
Jo, wer hat sich gedacht, hm?
Uh,
Ja,
out of
geil.
practicality.
Zäune
I'm
müssen
actually
dich
just
mit
gonna-
Blöcken connecten.
I'm actually just going to give it some redstone light instead. Especially
Hier so eine hässliche
throughout
rote
this
Farbe.
section. Gonna give it just some soft light, really soft light. And you can sort of see that it does light up, but it really doesn't do much. You can set your brightness back, by the way, toward. It's probably a little easier. You can see the redstone torches with your brightness on. Thank you. But yeah, you can see it a little better now. You can see that on the left-hand side, it's pretty bright, but that's just because the main pathway is right there, and then it gets a little darker, and then it gets totally dark on the
Oh,
river
kurz weg.
because I'm not going to add anything next to the river because I don't think it really needs it. But yeah, we're going to light it like that. Lighting is pretty important in my opinion, just because if you're looking for immersion, I think that if you're just walking through this pathway, oh excuse me, it feels like I'm actually walking through like a park, or hiccups. It feels like I'm walking through a park or forest or this nice abandoned kingdom I've got here. So I think it looks really nice, and I think it also feels really nice if you're actually thinking about it that way, which most people don't really think about it like that. But if you really sort of try and think about like you're actually walking through it, it does look a lot nicer. So I think that it's actually pretty important to do all this, because in the end it is really satisfying, and it's a pretty nice feeling, in my opinion. So I think I've got like, I don't know, 5 more minutes if you want to keep shooting me questions. This will be posted on Twitch. Yeah, this will be posted, I believe, on Twitch. I don't know YouTube, but I know for a fact that VOD will be on Twitch still. Oh yeah, I'll take verbal questions. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, so it will be uploaded on YouTube, which is good, because I think I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, a little biased here, but I think the environment is incredibly important. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. Anymore, and I'm forcing grass blocks everywhere. So yeah, thank you for coming out and watching my incredibly nervous ramblings, but I hope you learned something, because I did. I learned a few more things. Thanks for the masterclass. No, thank you for attending my masterclass. So I think I'm gonna call it here, boys. At 11:26 a.m. if I'll lose my voice. Yeah, I think I am losing my voice a little bit. The sacrifice of my throat. Yeah, thank you. I have greatly sacrificed my throat. So if anybody wants to follow me, oh, I'm not in the channel. I'll go to the Q&A channel if anybody wants. I'm gonna answer some more questions.
Oh Gott, er redet immer noch über die Wege, oder? Ah, zum Glück auch. Bist du noch live, wie ich sehe? Bei wem? Oh, das lohnt sich. Was bekommst du denn bei 15 Euro für Patreon? Was? Wirklich? Also wie der Vortrag ist nur für Patreon. Also macht, er macht den Vortrag über das Plugin, wo nur für Patreon ist, oder was? Ach so. Ja, ich bin. So, ich tue. Blöd gelaufen. Blöd gesoffen. Blöd gesoffen. Blöd ge. Und was machst du jetzt? Die halbe Stunde, bis der Kenix anfängt? Warum spritzen? Davon bin ich. Oh. Weil danach der Kenix hinkommt. Den wievielten haben wir? 12. John Wick. Gimme. Gimme. Time. Was ist denn das? Ach so, das ist doch Standard. Der Standard. Ja. Wow. Schön, das mit doch als Vergleich. Ja, das ist links daneben der, dieses komische, ach Gott, nein. Diese komische Tower, das ist nicht schlecht. Ja, der ist in der Nähe hinter unserem Block, glaube oder so. Ja, ja. Ja, ich glaube schon, dieser Steintower. Das ist nicht schlecht. Ich finde, er hat die Form da oben bei dem Holzdach cool hinbekommen. Aber wenn der Mann, die kann Strukturen nicht gut bauen, so. Ja. Ja, viele von ihrer Community können halt auch nicht Strukturen bauen. Obwohl ich finde, die kann generell. Ja komm, bauen Plot, du hast 18 Minuten. Soll ich Ihnen einen Kunststarter raussuchen? Ich habe Lust. Okay, dann halt nicht, Alter. Oh, bisschen freundlicher geht's ja auch. Du hebst davon ab. Sowas wie. So ein Dach wie bei Brandak wäre cool. Ja, Brandak ist sowieso so ein geiles Projekt, Alter. Ja, stimmt, du darfst ja. So beides. Aber ich, ich weiß nicht. Ja, aber die hat ja schon mal so ein Projekt gemacht. War ganz okay. Also, besser ist das was. Ich kann mir nicht TP mit Eispunkt irgendwas. Aber ich sehe es nicht üben. Man merkt. Das geht schon ein bisschen. Gemende Time. How much time do I have? Gut. Much. So, das war das andere. Ghost. Ja. Ja, das ist auch so zusammengepastet worden. Fand ihr das eigentlich immer so schlecht? Fand ich auch die Struktur. Oh, wow, Live-Aufnahme, ja, cool. Ja, natürlich. Ist die ganze Zeit online? Oh. Ja. Ich ist echt so eine. Dann bekommst du den Royalty. Geil, da bin ich schön pink. Oder bekommst du einen Donator-Rang oder Royalty? Auf den Nacken deiner Schwester. Ich hab mal Bock, was mit dem Texture Pack zu bauen irgendwie. Oh, ist doch eine gute Idee. Eine Person, das bin ich. Ah, die haben Discord? Ich bin auf dem Gemini-Teil Discord. Ganz gut. Oh, yeah. Ah. Ach so, die haben auch einen Showcase-Channel, perfekt. I'm done. I'm done. Nö, ich hab gar kein PayPal-Konto. Paysafe Card. Ich weiß gar nicht, was Royalty braucht. Stream beenden. Ist das, wenn du die Musik einmal richtig fühlst? Oh yeah. Ehrenmann. Oh. Der war Millionär. Ist so dumm. Zahl hier doch gar nichts. Ist das, wenn du baust und aber nur verwirrt bist? Oh yeah. Offene Wände. Interessant. Terreliman. Du bist ein Elefant. No, das haben sie nicht gerechnet. Was schreibst du, Kenix? Ich weiß schon, dass der Typ nicht Moderator ist, Moderator. Ein reicher Mann. Aber sie wollen doch auch ein cooler Mann bleiben und nicht nur ein reicher Mann. Denn CSGO ist cool, oh yeah. Same. Ach so, dann sollte man vielleicht auch langsam auf den Server gehen. Bin ich auf den Server? Kommst du auf den Server? Was ist los? Ja, aber die ganzen Pixelbießer werden geleakt. So, dann gehe ich doch mal in den Sprachchat. Hallo. Grüßt euch, meine Kollegen. Oh, Sie besitzen eine Bank, ich besitze keine Bank. Warum? Dieser kleine Kinex ist gut dargestellt. Wow.
Hello. I'm not starting yet. I'm starting in 5 seconds on the stream, so need some pre-roll. Okay, is that thingy? Okay, starting shortly, so that works. Sweet.
Twitch stuff.
Now, should be live on the stream now? Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Arcaniax. For the ones that don't know me, I make plugins, obviously. And I'm currently going to showcase my Patreon exclusive plugin, and how to use one of the more advanced tools, and a couple of the easier ones, obviously. But so that's basically what this masterclass is for. Hello, Mum. Apparently, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna put in the event broadcast a link to all the commands I'm gonna use today. It's masterclass.arcaniax.net. You should be able to get it there. I'll also post it in Twitch chat. Hello, Jiggerbuff. Welcome to stream. And you should be able to follow from there, hopefully.
Okay,
let me grab it myself, because I'll need it, for sure. So, there are some links on there. You can go to the wiki. All the information should be there. You can even suggest your own ideas for tools. Whatever. You can also join my Discord if you feel like that. My mods are going to be scared because there's going to be a lot of people joining, probably. So that's good. And then there's also a link to my Patreon. Arcan is $15 a month, or you can always just pledge for 1 month and get everything that I have made so far. So basically, you would be paying for updates. You can also just pledge for 1 month, come back a couple months later if you feel like it, and get all the updates you want. There's a couple of general commands that you can do. If you do //wiki, it should give you the link to the wiki as well, so you can do that in game. It should also give you the links to the other wikis, which might be quite useful. I just thought it would be like useful to have. Okay, and then //suggests gives you the link to my feedback page, which you can upvote ideas on, and you can also create new ones. Okay, so what we're today going to start with is Loft. You can always ask questions in chat if you want. I'll try. No promises. So with Loft, what you got to keep in mind. So Loft has a tool which uses the paper, or well, the paper is a tool for Loft. Okay. So what you need to do, or what you need to keep in mind, is that you have to go from one direction to the other direction, and each time you select a loft, you have to go from the same direction, because otherwise it will like flip around itself, which wouldn't be optimal. And basically, if you want to make a loft shape, you have to imagine your shape out of multiple curves, lines, or points. So for example, an example here is like, there's a curve, there's a line, there's a point. You don't need like the actual points, you can also click in mid-air and do some points like this. I may have twisted this around itself, but that's okay. So the basic commands I'm going to use now. You can also use C, or you can use clear. Go for it, Ivan. So this is basically used for smooth shapes usually. So like for sails, boat shapes, sometimes even terrain. It really depends what you want to use it for. A lot of people use it for organics because you can create really smooth shapes very, very quickly. So basically with the paper, so for example, this shape is consistent of two lines, so we'll be connecting these two lines together. So if you here's the things for the colors. So we'll left click this, and we'll right click this one. And then we have our first line there, or our first frame as the plugin calls it. And then we can left click here again. Let me actually reduce my speed because I'm going a little bit too fast to my likings. And if we right click here, we get this first like shape that we can make. Now what you need to do, or what you can do technically, to set this shape fully, you need to do loft set, and then your pattern. If you do this, like you can see all the flags, you can see whatever you want. So if we do loft set stone, this will basically turn into one smooth shape of stone. Now, there's a couple of simple flags that you can use with it. For example, -P doesn't really do anything here, but we have -O, which creates the outline of the loft, which can be useful for some kind of applications. I'm not entirely sure, but people do some crazy stuff with it that I didn't even expect to be possible, so who knows. -D stacks it down to the nearest block it finds, and it just stacks it down to the bottom. So you can use this for terrain using this way, if you like it like that. Okay.
Feedback.
Let me scroll down on the thing. What you can also do is you can use slabs. So if you do loft set slab 3, for example, which is cobblestone, you can see a very, very smooth shape here. It basically like calculates if it's the top part of the block or the bottom part, and if it's like in the center, it will place both. So you can get some really smooth, organic kind of shapes. Now, if we move over to the next one, also, I'll also explain this. So if you do loft R, it removes the last point you selected. If you use loft R -C, it removes the closest point to you currently. So, and loft clear gets rid of it all. And then basically this is the more advanced way of doing it. So as again, go from the same side each time, because otherwise it will flip around itself. I can show you actually what it looks like if you would flip it around. So if you, for example, left click here and then right click here, it like flips around itself, which wouldn't be optimal. So we can do loft R 2 times, and then we can reselect it. So if you misselect something, you can always use the R instead of having to clear your entire thing. And if you left click here again, it will create one smooth shape between those points. So what you really gotta do is imagine your shape with curves, lines, and points. So like you can make wings, you can make sails, and you have pretty much full control of what you want to do. So if we set this to stone again, like this, you get one really smooth shape. Now, what you can do as well, which not a lot of people use yet, but it's pretty cool. It's -P. It's a P flag, and it makes it low poly. So instead of creating curves between all the points that it calculates, it just draws lines between the points. So you will get a more like low poly kind of effect. Obviously, it works together with the other flags. So if you do PO, it does the outline. If you do, you can even like combine them all pretty much. Like that's a stack down one. You can even like just make it slabs if you really feel like it. Like they should all work together perfectly fine, and you can even like get some smooth like walls or whatever. I'm not entirely sure why you use it for walls like this, but who knows. There we go. Now, I think I'm done here with this one. I'll also just set it to slab 3 like this, so you can see how smooth the shape would be in a curve with slabs, which is pretty cool. Okay. Now, one other thing you can do with loft, if you want to make like a skirt or something, right? Let me actually clear this shape first. There we go. Yeah, the particles are great. I'm glad I added those, because then you can just preview the shape before like screwing over things. So you left, right, right. It's very similar to like a convex selection. So you left click to create a frame or like a new curve. You right click to add a point to it. There you go. So now we have these points already. So we're just going to go around it, and it will create like one smooth shape all around. Now, one thing that kind of bothered people at the start of using this plugin, if you connect it like this, let me just show it as an example. It will not really smoothly connect them together, because like it starts and stops here. So what I did, loft is available on BR, yeah, for members only. Set stone. So you will see that there's kind of a sharp edge here. Now, to get rid of that, what you can do is let me just remove the last frame, like the last 3 points. There we go. If you use loft set stone -C, -C stands for connect in this case. It connects like basically everything together in one smooth fashion, so you can make a skirt out of one shape instantly. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. So that's it about loft. Are there any questions about loft? You should also be able to plug auto here on this masterclass server right now, and you can test loft out if you want. You can also left and right click mid-air, as I said before, which can be useful if you don't want to place points first. Okay. Any questions, or should I keep going? Because that's pretty much it for loft at this point. Okay. How big is the loft? David, don't troll, please. It's already stressful enough. So, what I'm going to explain next is revolve, which is basically rotating a selection around a point. Let me actually scroll down. So, if you select it like this, and then you have to stand in the center of where you want it to rotate around.
Ja, das ist der Typ, der was die HDB gemacht hat und auch...
If we do /ref 1000, it does it 1,000 times around us, and it will just create like one smooth circle, basically. Now, another thing you can do with it is, for example, 0 to 180. So like a
Bruder,
full
ich bin
circle
grad
is
mal komplett
360.
lost. Ich
You
weiß
can
nicht mal
only
mehr,
do
wie
like
der
this,
scheiß
for
Plugin da heißt,
example.
Alter.
Which is
Zum Colorn, Alter.
another thing you can do. Is, for example, start it later on, like 90 to 180.
Bruder, ich bin komplett
It
lost.
does get rid of the other one, and it sets it to air if you do that. So just something to keep in mind. Now, another thing you can do is keep it. Let's turn this to 5, right? It just sets 5 of them, so you can just like go it around. Now, another feature that I implemented with this tool is -P as well. And it makes it a regular polygon, so you can make like, this is not a hexagon, this is a pentagon. If you want to have a, so the 5 is basically the amount of sides you will have in your shape. So you can be like 7 or 3 even, something like that. So you can get like a triangle.